The views and opinions of the hosts and guests are their own and do not necessarily reflect the views of the management and staff of Guardian Radio.
Financial stake in the energy grid deal. Over $250 million in consultants spent by the Davis administration in less than 4 years. And Bonnaby on the defensive. Plus, it's Earth Day. We've got a special Earth Day show coming to you live from Bahama Resort. It's all straight ahead this morning. I'm Dwight Strachan, and this is Morning Blend.
Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day. It's the start of a new way. Don't you know that it's the start, the end of the old way. Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up.
Good Wednesday, April 22nd, 2026. This is Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9. Again, I'm Dwight Strachan. In a moment, Chester Robards will be joining us. As we said, it's a special Earth Day broadcast. We're coming to you live from Bahama. A whole lot of special guests lined up for today as we celebrate on this Earth Day. That's all ahead. But right now, it's time for the overnight, the latest breaking news from while we're sleeping, and the top national and international headlines this morning. Mike's Bahamian company, Island Grid, had concluded its management role in the grid upgrade. There's now a lack of clarity over the status of the Davis administration's relationship with the U.S.-based Pike and Island Grid after they were repeatedly touted as long-term partners in the energy reform plans. The Davis administration announcing in 2024 that it was entering a 25-year contract with Island Grid for the upgrade and management of the Providence grid. The government announcing that under a joint venture partnership, it will own 40% of the shares in a special purpose vehicle called Bahamas Grid, and Island Grid would own 60%. On Monday, though, BGC announced the appointment of Dario McKenzie as chief executive officer and Gladys Fernander as chief financial officer, marking the company's transition to a fully independent, all-Bahamian-led operating model. It said the leadership transition followed the conclusion of Island Grid's management role on April 20th and the stepping down of Eric Pike and Mel Shibata from their positions at BGC. In less than 4 years, from July 2021 to March 2025, the government spent more than $250 million on consultancy services across various ministries, agencies, and departments. That's according to budget documents. Having been elected in September 2021, the Davis-led Progressive Liberal Party government oversaw the vast majority of that spending, which significantly outpaced the $167 million More than $167 million consultancy expenditure recorded over the previous 4 years from July 2017 to June 2021. In 2021-2022, more than $45 million was spent on consulting services. That figure increased notably in the 2022-2023 fiscal year, when more than $71 million was spent. Bahamas Public Parks and Public Beaches Authority Executive Chairman Michael Barnaby breaking his silence over the $141 million the authority has spent in less than 5 years defending its work and arguing that the government is not using it as a slush fund. Barnaby acknowledged the poor state of many public parks, but suggested that the contracts issued to more than 1,000 small contractors during his tenure have contributed to stimulating the economy. Parliamentary Commissioner Harrison Thompson defending the integrity of the Parliamentary Registration Department and urging political figures to exercise caution when making public comments. Thompson issuing the statement a day after FNM leader Michael Pintard raised concerns about the electoral process and called for his resignation. Speaking at a press conference, Pintard also called for the immediate removal of returning officer Neil Campbell. He pointed to recent reports of voters' card fraud while questioning the integrity of the electoral process. Pintard wrote to the United Nations and U.S. Ambassador to the Bahamas, Herschel Walker, requesting that they send independent election observers for the May 12th general election, citing concerns regarding the accuracy of the voters' register and the administration of the ongoing registration exercise. The Court of Appeal reluctantly cutting a convicted rapist sentence from 25 years to 24 due to an error by the trial judge. When 29-year-old Christopher Forbes was sentenced in 2024, presiding Justice Janine Weish Gomez erroneously said his lack of remorse was an aggravating factor that she considered in determining an appropriate sentence. The mistake, the panel of justices of appeal, Milton Evans, Bernard Turner, and Gregory Smith, allowed Forbes' appeal against sentence. Forbes profusely thanked the panel for the reduction in sentence. Forbes convicted an incident that took place in southern New Providence on May 6, 2022. The victim was on her morning walk on a main road when Forbes, who was armed with a cutlass, grabbed her arm and dragged her into the bushes. Forbes raped the woman twice and took 2 cell phones and Apple AirPods before leaving her naked and tied up. Overseas, Iran fired on 3 ships in the Strait of Hormuz today, underscoring the ongoing threat to global energy supplies and complicating efforts to bring the United States and Iran together for talks to end the war. The attacks, which Iranian media said were carried out by Iran's paramilitary Revolutionary Guard, coming after U.S. President Donald Trump said the U.S. would indefinitely extend the ceasefire with Iran due to expire today. But Trump said the U.S. would continue to blockade Iranian ports, and the attacks reinforced the dangers to traffic in the strait, though, through which 20% of the world's oil and natural gas pass in peacetime. That means that even if the ceasefire largely holds and Iran and the U.S. do not resume major attacks, the war will continue to weigh heavily on the global economy. Already, the conflict has sent gas prices skyrocketing far beyond the region and raised the cost of food and a wide array of other products. The longer the strait remains closed, the more severe and widespread the effects will be. And Pope Leo urging Equatorial Guinea to work for justice and to close the gap between the privileged and the disadvantaged, as he opened a day drawing attention to the vast income inequalities and human rights abuses in the Central African country. Leo began the day with Mass in an eastern city on the border with Gabon that has experienced major development since Equatorial Guinea's oil boom in the 1990s. The president, who has been accused of widespread corruption and authoritarianism, comes from Mongomo, that city, and the city with opulent buildings and curated gardens behind gilt-tipped gates has benefited from government investment and infrastructure, even though no official institutions are located there. And Chad will deploy 1,500 troops to Haiti as part of the United Nations security force to the Caribbean country to combat gang violence. That's according to a letter from the president to the legislature. In the letter read out to lawmakers of the Central African country this week, Chad's president, Mahamat Debi Itno, saying that 2 battalions of 750 troops each will be deployed from this month for 1 year, following a request by the United Nations. Last year, the UN Security Council approved the expansion of the Kenya-led multinational force in Haiti to 5,500 troops, called the Gang Suppression Force, and expanded its power to include arresting suspected gang members, which the previous force did not have.
This is Sports Update.
In sports, Bahamian auto racing phenom Lennox Lockhart was back on the European circuit over the weekend and placed 7th overall in the Mini GR3 class final at round 2 of the 2026 WSK Euro Series. Lockhart, who's 10 years old, put the pedal to the metal in the Mini GR3 final, finishing 7th out of 36 competitors. He improved 4 spots from his 11th position in the pre-final ranking. After weeks of intense training, Bahamian judoka Kara Hanna finding herself on the podium once again, winning a bronze medal at the 2026 Senior Pan American Championships. In Panama, Hanna won by ippon against Colombian judoka Brigitte Carabali in the bronze medal match of the women's plus 78 kilograms class. An historic feat for the 26-year-old Bahamian judoka. She became the first in the nation to win a medal in judo at the Pan American Championships on the senior level. And from the NBA, the first 6 days of the season's playoffs all had something in common. The home teams all prevailed, winning by an average of 18.5 points per game. Since then, chaos. Road teams figured out how to avoid being pushovers. Of the 6 first-round series that have completed 2 games, only 2 higher-seeded teams, Cleveland and the LA Lakers, have managed to hold serve at home and take a 2-0 series lead. Oklahoma City could join the Cavaliers and Lakers in that club if it beats Phoenix in Game 2 of that series tonight. Otherwise, that home court advantage team spent 82 games of regular season basketball trying to obtain it. It's already gone, meaning a whole bunch of Game 3s are coming up later this week, with lower-seeded teams feeling pretty good about their chances at springing an upset. East number 8 Orlando beat number 1 Detroit in Game 1 of their series on Sunday. The Pistons will try to salvage the split when the series resumes on Wednesday. East number 6 Atlanta beat number 3 New York on Monday, while West number 6 Minnesota beat number 3 Denver later that night. And on Tuesday, East number 7 Philadelphia beat number 2 Boston, and West number 7 Portland beat number 2 San Antonio in a game in which the Spurs saw Victor Wembanyama depart with a concussion in the first half. Cleveland is up 2-0 on Toronto, while the Lakers are up 2-0 on Houston. That's sports, and that's the overnight. Time for your first look at weather. Your first look at weather brought to you by Star General. We've got a near gale warning in effect for the central and southeast Bahamas. That's until 6 p.m. tonight. And a near gale watch is in effect for the rest of the northwest Bahamas. It's all as a result of a weakening frontal boundary near the southeast Bahamas now. That's going to support pockets of isolated showers and thunderstorms. Behind it, relatively cooler temperatures, stable conditions due to the high pressure and a drier air mass. Meanwhile, fresh to strong breezes and rough seas will continue, with wind gusts expected to reach near gale force over the central and southeastern islands. There's a high risk of dangerous, life-threatening rip currents and rough surf along all Atlantic exposed beaches, and beach goers and swimmers should avoid entering the water along all windward and Atlantic exposed shorelines, while boaters, especially small craft operators, should remain in port. There's also the potential for coastal flooding as seas build during high tide across all Atlantic exposures. Pedestrians and motorists should exercise caution along all coastal roads and seawalls. The forecast for today, the northern half of the country looking at partly sunny conditions at first, becoming partly to mostly cloudy by this afternoon through tonight. A 20% chance of a few light passing showers. Winds east to northeast to east to southeast at 15 to 25 knots for the extreme northern islands. Northeast to east at 15 to 25 knots for the rest of the northwest Bahamas. For the central and southeast Bahamas today, partly cloudy to cloudy. A 10 to 20% chance of showers for the central islands, but a 30% chance of widely scattered showers and possible isolated thunderstorms for the southeastern islands. Winds northeasterly northeast to east at 15 to 25 knots with occasional gusts to near gale force for the central islands, and northeasterly at 20 to 25 knots with frequent gusts to near gale force for the southeastern Bahamas. Temperatures today a bit cooler for the northern half of the country, highs in the mid to upper 70s. Lows tonight in the low 60s, low to mid 60s. For the central and southeast Bahamas, highs around 83 Fahrenheit, 28, 29 Celsius. Overnight lows tonight getting down to the upper 60s, low to mid 70s for the central and southeastern islands. That's your first look at weather this morning. We'll have your extended outlook coming up in just a bit. This weather check brought to you by Star General Insurance, made simple.
Wake up, it's a new day.
You are listening to Morning Blend, coming to you live from Bahamar on this Earth Day. We'll have a lot more when we get back after these messages. Stay with us.
It's the start of a new way. Don't you know that it's the start of the end of it? Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day.
At CFAL, we understand that is the greatest gift you can give your employees. That's why our tailor-made group pension solutions are designed to fit the needs of both large and small companies. With CFAL, you can provide the retirement you and your employees deserve, ensuring peace of mind and financial stability for years to come. Join the many businesses that have already entrusted CFAL to create the right pension plan for their employees, and let us help you build a brighter future for your team. Visit us at cfal.com to get started on building wealth so you can live well. CFAL, growing wealth for future generations.
CFAL is a proud sponsor of Team Bahamas for the 2026 Carifta Games.
5 years of PLP rule. Are you better off today? While you work, they've spent millions on taxpayer-funded trips, a government-funded luxury car, and handed out hundreds of millions in no-bid contracts. But for the rest of us, gas and groceries through the roof, VAT on bread basket items, healthcare that is broken, unaffordable, and out of reach. And it's not just your wallet. For 5 years, illegal immigrants have flooded our communities, putting excessive pressure on our schools, our housing, and our social services. As they flood in, Bahamian families fall behind. Under the F&M, there will be a change. The F&M has a plan to address the rising cost of living, secure our borders, protect Bahamians from illegal immigrants, and fix our health care. Because the F&M knows our job is to work for you and not the few. This message was paid for and authorized by the Free National Movement.
You try to rest, but roll with the best. For all your printing needs, there ain't no one better, no. For posters and banners, magazines and flyers, for window decals, greeting cards and newsletters. No job too big and there's no job too small. You name it, we can print it. Just give us a call. Let Print Masters bring your masterpiece to life.
Located in the Nassau Guardian Building, telephone 302-2361.
Tired of banks forcing you to use technology to bank the way they want you to? Your convenience is important. So no matter what your banking needs, Commonwealth Bank's friendly staff are always available in branch for that personal one-on-one service. But when you choose technology, our online and mobile banking app offers you state-of-the-art functionality. The choice is yours. Commonwealth Bank, Bank the way you want.
Looking to elevate your gadget game or a tech trouble simply slowing you down? Escape to a world of innovation at Custom Computers, your go-to store for the latest cutting-edge tech. Whether you need to upgrade your life with the best from Apple and Windows or your device needs a little TLC, the Custom Computers Know-How Store is the destination for unbeatable expertise and quality repairs. With 2 convenient locations, there's a Custom Computers near you on Patton Street in Palmdale and Caves Village, or call 396-1100.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM, streaming on GuardianTalkRadio.com and the Guardian Radio app, Nassau, Bahamas.
Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day. It's the start of a new way. Don't you know that it's the start of the end of the old way. Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day.
Welcome back to Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9. We are streaming live on GuardianTalkRadio.com and on the Guardian Radio app for smart devices. We're also on your televisions on Cable Bahamas Channel 969 and BTC Flow Channel 612. You can tweet us at Morning Blend 969 or Facebook.com/Morning Blend 969. Text us 422-4796. Standard text rate supply. Once again, I am Dwight Strachan. Joining us, Chester Robards. Chester Robards, good morning.
Good morning.
Great to have you with us. Thank you for filling in for the past few days. You'll be doing it again in a few more days. But thank you very much. Appreciate it, and appreciate all of you with your kind words and well wishes. Very much deeply appreciated during this time. Thank you again. All right, so we are live. We're not in the studio today. We're coming to you live from Bahamar. It is Earth Day.
Studio.
We are in a studio at Bahamar, a very nice studio. We might want to move down here. I don't know.
Yes.
But it's a special Earth Day broadcast, and we're going to be talking about the Earth, the environment, all kinds of amazing things with some great guests. You don't want to miss that at all. We're going to be getting to that straight till the end of the show today. And we thank Bahamar for having us. We're looking forward to talking with them about all the wonderful things they are doing for the planet as well. So that's coming up, and happy Earth Day to everybody. Hope you enjoy our special place on Earth today. So that's all ahead. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah? Okay. We're going to get into that in just a bit, but right now let's get into what else is in the news. And in the news, quite a bit to talk about. This headline, I feel like we've known this headline. The headline in the NASA Guardian today: over $250 million on consultants. We knew it was a very, very large number. But I feel like we've heard that before.
Because
But I guess now that we have the budget documents, it is confirmed, and that's in less than 4 years. Okay, all right, sure. So you can read about that and see how the numbers have gone up, and get into all of that in today's NASA Guardian. Some other exciting things in the paper today, though. After Michael Pintard called for the dismissal of the Parliamentary Registration Commissioner, Harrison Thompson, he is responding, Harrison Thompson, and he's urging political figures to exercise caution when making public comments. We know that the opposition parties are working hard, it seems, to bring to raise questions about this election and this electoral process. And it's a dangerous road to travel.
Mm-hmm.
Very dangerous road to travel. Oh boy. But that's a hot story. Also, Barnaby on the defensive. He won't get on the defensive on stations like Guardian Radio, but he goes to friendly places and gets defensive there, which he did last night, apparently. Tanika Thompson writing about it. Bahamas Public Parks and Public Beaches Authority Executive Chairman Mikhail Barnaby last night broke his silence over the $141 million the authority has spent in less than 5 years, defending its work and arguing that the government is not using it as a slush fund. Barnaby acknowledged the poor state of many public parks, but suggested the contracts issued to more than 1,000 small contractors during his tenure have contributed to stimulating the economy. Okay. He went on ILTV's Beyond the Headlines with Shanique Miller last night, saying, quote, "Now, the fact of the matter is there's a lot to be desired, but it's not something that happened overnight. Some of the parks have not been well maintained for the last 10 to 20 years. Okay. Some of the parks, what does that mean, Chester? They've not been maintained for 10 to 20 years, so that means that it's going to take 10 to 20 years to get them back to where they need to be. As soon as possible. But the capital expense alone, if we were to tackle all that cost, the cost would be even more than what you're seeing today." What?
No.
What happened? Was there a bombing in some of the parks? Was there a fire?
After the Nassau Guardian published all those pictures, they seemed to put things together quite quick.
Quite quickly. Okay, well, the other ones must be really bad.
They must be acres of parks they're talking about.
It must have been swallowed up after the volcano. They get out from under the ashes.
That must be what it is.
Oh, okay. And he says, quote, "And this is why I'm saying the fact of the matter is parks and beaches is huge. It's underestimated, but it's huge." His sit-down interview with Miller, who many view as a PLP-friendly host.
Well, the station is certainly now maybe more PLP friendly.
What? Why would that be? Oh, my. Okay. Oh, boy. Well, I'm glad no one has ever written anything like that about me. PLP or F&M friendly host. Jump off our tower. Okay. Came after months of silence on the overspending at the authority. Well, this seems like a low blow almost. Came after months of silence on the overspending at the authority and the rundown state of many of New Providence's public parks. Are they responsible for the Family Islands stuff?
Maybe that's local government.
Oh.
I don't know. I have no idea.
Oh, God. Well, okay. The Nassau Guardian has attempted to interview Barnaby on the issue since at least July 2024. We get an interview with Trump before we get one with Miguel Barnaby. I can tell you that. But he has never returned this newspaper's calls or texts, nor Guardian Radio, even though they almost booked. They reserved a segment, and then they canceled like a day or two before.
Happens to you a lot.
What was that? What? Last week, the Nassau Guardian reported that in less than 5 years, the authority spent more than $141 million going over its allocated budget every fiscal year. The authority has never, under Barnaby's leadership, publicly accounted for how it has spent its money. Amid outcry about the large outlay already spent by the authority, Barnaby said last night that the entity should be allocated even more public funds to continue its work. He said, quote, "What I'm saying to you, Shanique, is this. It is such a broad task, a humongous task, with all of the assets that we own. A serious conversation needs to be had where Bahamians need not to balk at what is being submitted for parks and beaches to run its operations over the next year. And I would advocate for more for the next whoever becomes the new chairman." Barnaby, who appeared subdued during the interview, said the authority manages over 200 parks on New Providence and has engaged 1,200 small contractors, some of whom may not have otherwise found work. So you don't need to have any type of park maintenance skill or history or...
So those are the small businesses that are being subsidized that they mentioned?
I guess. So just anybody. Could my cat get a contract to run a park? I don't have a cat, but if I did, could it?
Maybe.
Quote, let's talk about our 1,200 contractors that we have alone. Approximately 1,200 small contractors, small business owners, people who may not have a degree, people who are still Bahamians, people who need to look after their families, people who are looking for an opportunity as a state-owned entity. That is also a role that we play as well. He said the authority has beefed up its park management department, accounts department, and hired new lifeguards. Asked if the PLP is using the authority as a slush fund, Barnaby said, quote, definitely not. If you look at the work that Parks and Beaches has been doing since 2021 to now, you'll see that we've been pretty consistent about how parks and beaches are supposed to be used. Under the previous administration, there was allegations of road work being done on certain roads where there was a certain amount of persons being paid for work not being done. That has not been levied under this administration. This administration takes accountability seriously. He said under his leadership, the first ever set of audits were conducted and completed at the authority. He said that he did not say why those audits have not been made public as yet. He said, when we talk about the amount that is being spent at parks and beaches, there's a negative connotation there. The connotation there is that there's no accountability, there's no transparency, and there's no value for money. But what you have to also consider is parks and beaches is growing as well as an entity. I'm the third chairman. The first chairman was Greg Burrows. He had about a year and a half or so on the job. The second chairman, the second was the other chairman. He can't say his name. Oh, wow. And, oh, my God.
Maybe you forgot it.
What? Oh, I'm sure he didn't. And now myself. So it is a very young and fledgling institution. And so in terms of looking at how we make sure that the public is viewing parks and beaches in the right light, parks and beaches is tantamount to the cleaning agent of the entire country. The cleaning agent. Okay. Asked about what he's done since becoming chairman, Barnaby said, quote, we started off in 2021 in a dilapidated building where the staff had to go home at least 3 days out of the week. We didn't have a full complement of staff. We moved into new headquarters, and I've said this in the House of Assembly. We had a rundown. We had run down a park cleaning equipment. What? Okay. We had no ride on lawnmowers. No ride on lawnmowers, I guess. We had no lawnmowers, very little weed whackers. We didn't have a fleet of vehicles. We had 2 vehicles for about 4 inspectors to carry out inspections for the entire island. Now Parks and Beaches can boast of a whole host of vehicles, a fleet of vehicles that is now under its remit. He said that thousands of Bahamians have benefited from the authority. Okay. All right, there's a lot more there in the paper today. All right, we're going to go to a break in a bit. Let's get through your messages, though, and we might be able to take 1 or 2 calls very quickly. These are your text messages. The person says here, so we're just using beaches and parks to give out money for nothing in return. Tell him to use some of his money that we see he declared next time. Oh, boy. Okay.
Wouldn't be enough.
How much is budgeted for education versus beaches and parks to get an idea of scale? You should see the park in Blanket Sound, Central Andros. Why? Is it bad? Is it good? What's the issue? This person says here, OMG on Javargo Lang show yesterday. I can't recall the exact quote, but he basically said the explanations given to date on the overspend by beaches and parks was insufficient, and it was not good enough to say the F&M did the same thing. He then said if they'd said something about stimulating the economy, and I said, I texted and said, don't say that because they'll use that explanation. That they had to stimulate the economy. So Javargo gave them the idea. Okay, that's what they're saying. Wow. Dwight, God forbid if the F&M wins, I hope that same luxury car they keep talking about in that commercial, I hope Pintard is not, it will cash it in because he would be delusional to drive something he's campaigning against. Okay. Sure.
What they do? Sell it?
I don't know. Okay. Hey, well, you can read it for yourself. It's an interesting story. We'll see how this goes. We got to take a break, folks. We're going to talk about this another day. But what's really going on with Pike and Bahamas Grid, Island Grid? Anybody working here from Pike now? Is that a thing anymore? Will they be?
Well, Pike, I don't know.
I mean, we know that Bahamas Grid was looking for a CEO for a while, but they got a Bahamian CEO finally. But where do things stand, and why the silence from the government on this?
Quite right.
Interesting. Anyway, we are coming to you live from Bahamar on this Earth Day. We're going to be getting into Earth Day conversations when we get back. This is Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9. Stay with us.
It's a new day. Wake up. It's a new day. It's the start of a new way. Don't you know that it's the start of the end of the old way. Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM, streaming on GuardianTalkRadio.com and the Guardian Radio app. Nassau, Bahamas.
Unsung heroes give us pride in the present, hope for the future, and most importantly, become living examples of the best that we can be.
CIBC Caribbean wants to reward the unsung heroes in our communities. Do you know someone who's been doing outstanding work in their community or performed an extraordinary act of heroism, bravery, or kindness in the last 12 months? Nominate a hero today. Go to CIBCCaribbean.com to learn more.
No one likes a fender bender.
Oh, man.
From a little scratch to a full mashup, NUA Insurance has got you covered with auto insurance tailored to fit your needs and budget. For affordable rates with free on-site accident assistance, visit us online or in branch and just ask us. NUA Insurance. Ask us because we've got you covered.
Marco's, we make it better. Better ingredients, better flavors, better quality. A signature sauce that families have always counted on. We are not only serving your family, but our families too. 2 medium, 1-topping pizzas with center squares or cheesy bread for just $29.95. When you want pizza you can trust, choose Marco's. Your family deserves the best. Marco's Pizza, crafted with heart and proudly shared with love.
When it comes to hearts at Cleveland Clinic, you can't miss a beat. You seek the best care possible, work with the brightest minds, and leave no stone unturned to get to the heart of the matter. Because understanding is always the first step to overcoming. For every heart in the world, see how we're advancing the future of heart care at Cleveland Clinic today.
This is the National Youth Guard program designed to train young people to help the Bahama Islands in times of disaster.
I decided to join to better serve my country as well as to better myself.
We train the help in search and rescue,
electrical, plumbing, and carpentry,
and things that they can actually expand on in their careers.
Young people who join the Youth Guard program discover a sense of identity, a sense of purpose, and a sense of patriotism.
This program isn't about only the individuals. It is about the country.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM. Fresh news, smart talk, all day.
Oh, yeah. All right. My beautiful islands. I tell you, if the good Lord never goes on holiday, tell me why he made the Bahamas. If the good Lord never used to come this way, tell me why he made these islands. All the sun, all the peace, all the skies, the breeze, all the grease, all the hills,
all the sand, all the trees.
And we are back with Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9. Dwight Strong along with Chester Robards. It's a special edition of the show today. We are coming to you live from Bahamar, this beautiful property, on this Earth Day. And it's a special Earth Day show. We're going to get into it for the remainder of the program today, talking about the environment, our planet, and what's going on here at Bahamar and with some of the other major institutions that are protecting our environment. Well, let's begin with Bradley Watson with Bahamar. Good morning, sir. Great to have you. Well, great for you to have us this morning. Tell us about
Great
this.
to be together. Good morning.
Hey, tell us about Happy Earth Day. Tell us about this and why we're doing this special broadcast today.
Well, good morning, everybody. We're here at Bahamar celebrating Earth Day, and at Bahamar we try to pay attention to the environment around us and the culture around us. I'm representing the Bahamar Foundation right now, and we have three pillars, which are community, culture, and conservation. And so, to do conservation at our property, we try to use as little water as possible and reduce our energy use. But we also partner with organizations to do conservation outside of the boundaries of our property, and maybe even sometimes on our property with PIMS, for example, doing coral rehabilitation. Another thing that people know about Bahamar pretty well is our flamingos, right? And so we have them as a part of our community here, but also we support conservation for flamingos outside of the property. And Kristen from Wildlife is going to be here to talk about that. So really, it's just a celebration of the Bahamas, of the earth, and about everything that we can do as people to make sure that the earth keeps spinning the way it does.
Yeah. So this is, would you say this is just everybody at Bahamar is on this path, or are we working to get it like that?
Oh, for sure. So we actually have this thing called sustainability champions, right? And so in every department, there's somebody who is the sustainability champion. Wow. And their job is to train their colleagues, so at least 2 hours of training about sustainability, making sure that we all volunteer and put some time into supporting work. And that's for conservation work and also, work in our society.
Excellent.
And then we also ensure that we do a project. So every department is actually doing a project, thinking about how can we reduce, how much paper we use or how much energy we use, or how do we go out into the community and, support their efforts there. So really, it's a part of our ethos. It's a part of our blood here. Yeah.
That is wonderful stuff. So hopefully this won't be the last time we do something like this together.
It certainly won't.
All right.
And thank you so much for coming.
Bradley, thank you so much. Bradley Watson with Bahamar Foundation. All right, so you already mentioned the flamingos. We're going to get into that in just a bit, but we also have from the Perry Institute for Marine Science, Anwar Gadet with us. Good morning.
Good morning, sir, and thank you so much for having me.
All right, so tell us about Perry Institute for Marine Science, for folks who aren't familiar with it.
Well, Perry Institute for Marine Science is an organization that's been around for about 50 years, and we spearhead marine conservation here in the Bahamas. We are greatly involved with Bahamar in projects such as reef balls with microfragmentation. It encourages more fish to the area. It's very beautiful. We treat stony coral tissue loss disease, which is very deadly, kills up to 5 centimeters of coral a day.
Wow.
And we have a lot of initiatives, nurseries, partnerships. Basically, we're fighting for the survival of these species. And in this war, we need everybody.
Let's talk more about that, the stony coral disease. How bad is it? What do people need to know?
It's particularly bad. As a young man growing up, I went swimming a lot with my father. Of course, in school, we always enjoyed swimming, going out to the reef, free diving. I got more into it. In high school, became certified. And this was in 2000. I'm an old man.
Okay.
I've seen the degrade in these ecosystems, and this is what actually drove the passion for marine conservation. I wanted the next generation to see life. I wanted to help restore the reefs, treat the reefs. Feels like this is a way of life, not just a job.
Mm-hmm. So what's causing it, and can we reverse it? Well, tell us about that.
Basically, the disease, there's a lot of studies going on with the disease, a lot of unknown factor, but basically, it's traveled. It travels through vessels and this sort of thing. So basically, we are a hub. We are basically a hub. We have a lot of things going on here in terms of tourism. Without tourism, we would be nothing. All right. So in terms of the disease, we really need to eye on this that we're doing. We treat the disease with with a nice pace of amoxicillin and base 2B, and we go down and we actually have hands-on with these reefs and these corals to apply
It's
it.
like
So
antibiotics.
it is actually some tedious grunt work involved with a lot of science. I have to give great thanks to Dr. Bazario, who brought this treatment over here from Colombia to PIMS for us, taught us how to administer and all of this stuff. So, yeah, basically, the treatment is ongoing, and the treatment does stop the stony coral tissue loss disease. So, there are some good things going on, other than, of course, the degradation of the reefs.
Can you say how much coral has been treated so far? Because I remember, boy, it was a few years ago that you had a.
Yeah, we've treated over 10,000 corals. We've actually outplanted over 10,000 corals in the past 5 years. And of course, with partnerships like Bahama, we can continue to sustain this treatment.
Yeah.
Of
Wow.
course.
How can members of the public help PIMS, as you call it, Perry Institute for Marine Science?
Just like to educate in terms of, you might see us around the place. You might go to the marinas. You might see us. We have posters up talking about stony coral tissue, what it looks like, how to identify it. All right. And it's basically about getting it out to the community again, so people are more educated. So they actually could relay back to us, so we could go to particular spots to treat.
Yeah. And we can grow coral, right? We can.
Yes, actually, in layman's terms, I'm a coral farmer.
Okay.
I'm a coral farmer. If you look at me, you could tell I'm a hands-on type of person. So I'm down there. We grow corals in our nursery. Critically endangered corals, branching corals, this sort of thing. We start at 4 centimeters, very small.
Wow.
And then after they've grown in about a year's time, we infuse them onto the reefs. We do monitoring to show growth rates and survivorship, this sort of thing. Other than branching corals, we've also started the microfragmentation, like I said, with Bahama, with reef building corals. So definitely is an ongoing work, a lot of work to do, and I'm glad to be here to talk about this.
So, Anwar, as we wrap up, what would you say to divers, fishermen, swimmers out there about, what they need to do and not do to help preserve coral and other marine life?
Well, what I'd like to say is basically, this is our home. All of us are in this together. We enjoy these creatures. For me, underwater is a sanctuary. It's a quiet place. I feel very in touch with it when I'm down there, and I want to see it continue to flourish for other generations. I would like for us to be more involved, a bit more impactful, a bit more mindful in terms of don't throw the colic bottle in the water.
Wow.
Don't throw the plastic in the water. This sort of thing. If you're snorkeling, don't stand up on the reefs. And basically, when you see initiatives like we have here going on, tune in a bit, get a bit more educated. Education is the key, not just for our survival, but also it's the key for us to be successful with things we're passionate about.
Yeah. Wow. Very well said. Anwar Gadet with Perry Institute for Marine Science. Thank you. Thank you for being here this morning.
Thank you so
Really
much.
appreciate it. We also have from the Sanctuary, Kristen Smith.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good to have you with us.
Thanks for having me.
Tell us about the Sanctuary at Bahamar, and we'll get into the flamingos and the work that you're doing there.
At Bahamar, we have a wildlife sanctuary. We have an area where we have nurse sharks, stingrays, sea turtles, lots of different fish. Gives people an opportunity to come in, see the animals, have interactions, get to know them, get to learn about them. Part of the sanctuary, we also have our aviary. So we have a small walk-through aviary where people can get closer to birds, do some interactions. And then, of course, we have our flamingos. The flamingos, the famous flamingos.
Right.
Everybody loves the flamingos. The flamingos are important to us here because they actually are the national species or the national bird of the Bahamas. So people know about them. People have heard about them. You've learned about them your whole life growing up. A lot of people have never really gotten that close to them.
Yeah.
So we have a flock of flamingos. We actually have 2 flocks of flamingos. One is over at Baja Bay. Those flamingos, we're not a lot of hands-on work with them. They're older flamingos. They're a breeding flock of flamingos, so they weren't hand-raised by people. They're more interested in each other. We are coming into breeding season. our nesting season right now. So you'll see some nesting behaviors of them with them over there, which is exciting. We also have another group of flamingos. Now, you know what a group of flamingos is called? Anybody?
Well, I do know it. I do know it. Oh man,
right.
it's gonna come. It's a very fancy word, but
Flamboyant.
flamboyant. Exactly.
Flamboyant. It's a fun word for a group. They are flamboyant.
Right.
They're exciting. They're active. They're loud. They're noisy. They're interactive. They're very social birds.
Right.
So you see a lot of interaction. So they're fun to watch. So we have a group of those over at Flamingo Key, which is on the other side of the resort. Those birds, we have 16 of them over there, and those were all hand raised here at Baja Mar. So we were actually able to bring eggs in from other zoos. We haven't had any successful eggs laid here at Baja Mar, but we're hoping to with the breeding flock. But these eggs were brought from other zoos that have successful breeding flocks. That those eggs weren't going to keep, so we were able to bring them here. We incubated them and hand raised those chicks here.
Oh wow!
We actually have 16 babies that we've hand raised, so they're used to people. They're used to interactions. I don't know if they think they're a person. They think we're a flamingo, whatever it is, but they relate to us, right? So they're very comfortable around people. So, but the key of that is it gives us the opportunity to get people really close to them and interact with them. So we have school groups here. We go to schools, we talk about flamingos. So it really lets people get close up and personal with flamingos, which they've never been able to maybe touch before or see that close or really been able to watch their behavior, because they have very interesting behavior, like I said, because they are very social, they're very active, their feeding behavior is very unique. They stand up, right? They're tall, and they filter feed. So they're feeding upside down. Their heads are upside down, and their beaks are shaped specifically to get those organisms out of the water. So they filter, kind of like a baleen whale, if you're familiar.
Right. Yeah.
They take a big mouthful of water, they spit it all out through those filters that are in their mouth, and they keep whatever's in there. So flamingos are like that on a really small scale.
Right.
That's
So
pretty
they
cool.
take a mouthful of water, they spit it out real quick, and then they're collecting all the microorganisms that are in that water. So they'll eat things like the algae, plankton, brine shrimp,
Right.
everything that's small in the water.
That's why they're that color, right?
The food is how they eventually.
You know, like how do the flamingos turn pink? It is from their diet.
Right.
So they would still survive if they ate food items that didn't have a lot of that protein in them. Do you know what the protein's called?
No.
We should have studied for this show today, Chester.
It's carotenoids.
Okay.
So it's carotene. Beta
Oh, right.
carotene.
Okay, yeah.
Same kind of thing you see like in carrots.
Carrots.
Or sweet potatoes or things like that have a lot of that. It's a protein. So that actually binds in their body and creates the color. Their liver can process that color to make their feathers pink.
Wow.
So kind of interesting.
Yeah, it's pretty
So
cool.
you got to watch that transition.
Yeah, you know, and baby flamingos, when they're hatched, they're white.
Right. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
They're so cute. They're so cute. Because they're not like some birds when they hatch, they're bald. and
Right.
they don't get feathers. Baby flamingos actually are like little white cotton balls. So we got to raise them. So they're white, then they turn gray, and then as they grow, as they get older, as they're absorbing that protein, they're turning pink.
That's
so they're
amazing.
fully pink until they're about 2 years old.
All right, I could ask questions about this all day. Do you manage the habitat so that the food grows naturally, or do you have to supplement?
Actually get a pelleted diet. It's
Oh, okay.
specifically made for flamingos.
Okay.
So it's like feeding your cat or your
Right.
dog a kibble.
Right.
So it's kibble. And they eat it. They're used to eating that. And then it does have that beta carotene, the carotenoids, all that stuff in there that helps them maintain their color. So you'll see our flamingos here are bright pink. They're all old enough now. We don't have any babies right now.
Right. Hopefully soon. So there's no danger of them flying away or flying off.
No, actually, so with these guys, we are able, especially because they're used to us being hands-on with them. We can handle them. We can touch them. It's not a problem to them at all. We just clip their flight feathers, so it's like cutting your hair. It doesn't hurt them. It grows back. So about twice a year, they get a new set of feathers in, and we just kind of trim their hair, trim their flight feathers. Because we don't want them taking off from here and hitting a building or like getting lost or like that. But really, I mean, flamingos naturally are fairly lazy. They're
Mic up a little bit there.
Oh,
Yeah.
sorry.
Mm-hmm.
Flamingos are pretty lazy naturally. If they have enough food and if they don't have any predators coming after them, they're happy to stay where they're at.
Yeah.
So
Wow.
they'll kind of eat and forage for food all day and interact with each other and do their flamingo thing.
So what's next? Do you have bigger plans? Do you have plans to grow it, the sanctuary? What comes after this?
I mean, our goal with the sanctuary really is to educate people,
Mm.
give people the opportunity to interact with animals, learn about nature, learn about the conservation projects we have here. We do work with the Bahamas National Trust. So some of the projects we did, we were raising baby flamingos, and some of the representatives from Bahamas Natural Trust were coming in. They were doing wing measurements as the
Okay.
flamingos were growing, and that helps them to learn ages of wild babies that they see, so they can get an idea of like the age of a wild baby that they're doing research on in the wild.
Right.
So we can actually work with them to do conservation work and then learn more about the flamingos here.
That is
Right.
pretty cool. This is great stuff. How many people are part of your team?
We've got 28 people on the wildlife team that take care of
Big team.
all the birds and all the aquatic animals, including the koi fish. So we have a lot of fish on property, the sanctuary with the sharks and rays and everything like that. So about 28 people, yeah.
And we've got about 10 seconds left. If people want to come in and see the flamingos, what should they do?
Yeah, you can come. Yeah, the flamingos are free to see on site. Anybody can walk on site and see the flamingos are on display all the time, so anybody can see them.
Okay.
We do a parade every day at 9:30 a.m. where you can see the ambassador flamingos walk through the property.
Excellent.
Get close up to them. So.
Kristen Smith, thank you so much. Thank you. Great talk.
Yeah.
Appreciate the work that you're all doing. We've got to go to the news. This is Morning Blend on Guardian Radio on Earth Day at Bahamar. Stay with us.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM, streaming on GuardianTalkRadio.com and the Guardian Radio app, Nassau, Bahamas.
Welcome back to Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9. We are streaming live on GuardianTalkRadio.com and on the Guardian Radio app for smart devices. We're also on your televisions on Cable Bahamas Channel 969 and BTC Flow Channel 612. You can tweet us at Morning Blend 969 or Facebook.com/Morning Blend 969. Text us on the Guardian Radio text line powered by BTC 422-4796 standard text rate supply. And now at 8:20, it's time for another check of your weather for today, brought to you by Sherwin-Williams. So we've got a near gale warning in effect for the central and southeast Bahamas. That's until 6 p.m. And a near gale watch is in effect for the northwest Bahamas. So all as a result of a weakening frontal boundary near the southeast Bahamas, that's going to support pockets of isolated showers and thunderstorms. Behind it, relatively cooler temperatures and stable conditions will continue due to high pressure and a drier air mass. Meanwhile, fresh to strong breezes and rough seas will continue for most of the country with wind gusts anticipated to reach near gale force over the central and southeastern islands. Now, over the next few days, the front is going to continue to weaken and gradually move out of the area later tonight, though it is expected to linger just south of the region through the remainder of the work week. High pressure will build across most of the country Thursday. That's going to bring pleasant conditions as winds and seas gradually subside. However, a few passing showers are possible as Atlantic moisture continues to stream across the area. By Friday evening, a mid to upper level disturbance along with deep tropical moisture moving in from the Gulf will bring increasing showers and isolated thunderstorms for the central and southeast Bahamas, as well as portions of the northwestern islands. That will continue through Saturday before moving out of the area by Saturday afternoon. Expect increasingly favorable marine conditions this weekend, especially after the passage of that disturbance, as winds become light and variable through and along with smoother seas. So ahead of that, though, we are looking at a high risk of dangerous, life-threatening rip currents and rough surf along all Atlantic exposed beaches, and beachgoers and swimmers should avoid entering the water along all windward and Atlantic shorelines, with mariners, especially small craft operators, advised to remain in port. There is potential for coastal flooding as seas build during high tide along all Atlantic exposures. Pedestrians and motorists should exercise caution along coastal roadways and seawalls. So your forecast for today for the northern half of the country, we're looking at partly sunny conditions at first, becoming partly to mostly cloudy by this afternoon through tonight, and partly cloudy to cloudy for the central and southeast Bahamas, with a 30% chance of showers and isolated thunderstorms for the southeastern islands. High temperatures today for the northern half of the country, in the mid to upper 70s for highs today. Overnight lows tonight in the low 60s. A bit warmer for the central and southeast Bahamas. Highs around 83, 84 Fahrenheit. Overnight lows tonight getting down to the upper 60s, low 70s. In extended outlook for tomorrow, Thursday, partly cloudy to cloudy for most of the day, becoming variably cloudy by evening through the night for most areas. And by Friday, partly cloudy during the day, becoming mainly fair at night for the northern half of the country, mostly cloudy elsewhere. Saturday, partly sunny for the extreme northern islands, a mix of sun and clouds for the central and northwest Bahamas, partly cloudy to cloudy, with cloud cover decreasing for the southeastern islands later in the day Saturday, and a mix of sun and clouds for Sunday. That's your morning blend weather check. Weather check brought to you by Sherwin-Williams. If you're looking to refresh your space, your local Sherwin-Williams store for premium paint, pro tips, and everyday deals that make it easy to get started. And time for traffic, brought to you by NUA Insurance, agents and brokers. Got a number of hot spots in your real-time traffic this morning. We've got Independence Drive, seeing heavy traffic both directions between the roundabouts of Blue Hill Road and East Street. And Blue Hill Road also very heavy traffic this morning from Carmichael straight up to that roundabout with Independence Drive. And East Street seeing similar story. North and southbound, mainly northbound though, of the... If you're heading northbound, north and south of the Soldier Road intersection. And of course, Mild Butler Highway, always heavy traffic for you heading northbound, well south of the Fire Trail roundabout, straight through to Tonic Williams Darling Highway. And that's going to lead you straight to the New Providence Highway, all the way up to the six-legged roundabout. And even north of that area on the way to West Bay Street, very slow-moving northbound traffic this morning. Then we've got Eastern Road, seeing pockets, westbound mainly, just east and west of Fox Hill Road, and Prince Charles Drive along the major intersections heading westbound. Those are your hot spots right now. That's your real-time traffic. And your morning blend traffic alert brought to you by NUA Insurance, agents and brokers. Get a quote however it suits you. Stop by your nearest branch or get an instant motor quote online at nuainsurance.com. Quick questions or big decisions, they've got you covered.
Get ready. The Bahamas Agricultural and Industrial Corporation presents the 5th annual Taste and Tell Food Expo, the biggest food processing event of the year. Join us April 25th at the Western Esplanade from 1 p.m. to 9 p.m. Enjoy live cooking demos, competitions, eating contests with prizes, a fun kiddie corner, and live entertainment. Don't miss it. For more information, call 376-6209. Taste and Tell. Come for the food, stay for the fun.
Every day in a busy world, we have to do so much. Bank with CIBC and get that personal touch. Share your ambitions, let us help your dreams come true. At CIBC, you're at the heart of all we do. We're on your side, we're listening, we know the way you feel. CIBC, ambitions made real.
In the world of business, technology is not a choice, it's a necessity. And for businesses that demand excellence, there's only one choice for unparalleled support and cutting-edge technology. Custom Computers. You have challenges and we have solutions. Computing, networking, storage, and printing for enterprises large and small, aligned with premium brands like HP, Microsoft, Konica Minolta, and more. Get tech done the right way with Custom Computers. Call the Know-How team at 396-1101.
The following is a paid political message.
The future is brighter. Vote for my Guyver. Hey, 'cause she is a fighter. The future is brighter. The future here for you. Say everybody in Kalani, change his hair, hey, hands in the air. Say everybody in Kalani, vote for my Dwight. She is a fighter.
That was a paid political message.
Foreign commercial banks have been closing across our islands. For thousands of Bahamians, our country's post office savings banks are a lifeline, providing safe and secure banking. But Michael Pintard says,
we will abolish the bank through the post office system.
That's a risk Bahamians can't afford. That's why the Prime Minister is making post office savings banks stronger to protect Bahamian families and small businesses who rely on them. Paid for by the PLP.
Bahamas doesn't mess about when it comes to product range and product knowledge.
There's a new product come in the store. We walk the store and study that product.
One thing with our boss, if a new product comes in, he takes the time and with product knowledge. And we just had 9 weeks of different products that we had to study, and we had exams at the end of each product.
Yeah.
The only way we could sell the product effective, we have to know that product. Yeah, that helps us to relate to our customers. It gives us better knowledge to know what product to introduce to them. You understand? So we can know what product to give them to use and what product not to give them to use. So product knowledge is really key in Sherwin-Williams.
They got the keys. And the key is the product knowledge that comes with our extensive product range at Sherwin-Williams Paints, Bahamas. Find color in every day.
The unsung heroes give us pride in the present, hope for the future, and most importantly, become living examples of the best that we can be.
CIBC Caribbean wants to reward the unsung heroes in our communities. Do you know someone who's been doing outstanding work in their community or performed an extraordinary act of heroism, bravery, or kindness in the last 12 months? Nominate a hero today. Go to CIBCCaribbean.com to learn more.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM. Fresh news, smart talk, all day.
They paved paradise and put up a fucking lie. With a pink hotel, a boutique, and a swinging hot spot. Don't it always seem to go that you don't know what you got till it's gone? They paved paradise and put up a fucking line. They took all the trees and put them in a tree museum. And they charged the people $1.50 to see them. No, 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 don't it always seem to go that you don't know what you got till it's gone? They paved paradise and put up a fucking line.
We are back with the Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9. It's a special Earth Day edition of the show. We're coming to you live from Bahama Resort, having a great time this morning. Dwight Strachan along with Chester Robards on this beautiful Wednesday morning. Again, it is Earth Day. It's a special show that we're doing here today. And right now, we are very happy to have with us from the Bahama Foundation. We have, everybody knows Robert Sands, but also Conservation Manager O'Neill Leadon. And we're going to get to Espa and Erica Nada in a bit as well. But great to have you all have us here. But let's start with the foundation, though. The work of the foundation, we've got a lot going on. But tell us about that, Robert Sands.
Before I do that, welcome to our podcast studio.
Yes, this is a beautiful spot. We're talking about how we need to come here once a month at least.
Community of Bahama, and I mean, it almost ties into Earth Week. You know, we're always creating experiential experiences for our guests to add to the dimension of our offerings and tie into the whole issue of luxurious offerings here at the resort. So welcome to these first class studios.
It's beautiful.
But certainly the foundation is all about, you know, community, conservation, and culture. And we've always believed that for a company that does well, we have a commitment to give back to the community. So on an annualized basis, we do over $1.2 million in generous contributions to various charities, events, etc. Throughout the year. Over the year, you would see multiple contributions made by our foundation over a plethora of exciting entities, etc. And we will continue to do that this year. And a lot of these funds are raised either through charitable donations of our guests or through fundraisers that we do. The largest one of which we're doing our golf tournament, which will raise close to $350,000 this year.
Wow.
And we will give this right back to the community. We believe that there are segments of the society who cannot achieve certain things on their own. And we have a corporate responsibility, we believe, to assist them in elevating their various entities. And we will continue to do that. And as we grow as a corporate entity, obviously the funding to the foundation grows and we're then able to give back more.
Excellent.
And we are very happy with the work we do. We publicize every year an annual report that shows the work that we do, so for transparency, etc. And every single penny we raise in a year, we give back to the local community.
Yeah, wow. Are you noticing changes in the mindset of the local community? Are you seeing Bahamians get on board with this?
People look for good corporate example. I think corporate giving still not at the level I would like it to be. But then again, you know, if you compare that to other cities offshore, there's a difference. You know, there's some tax relief for some of those entities. There's no real tax relief here. So sometimes corporate giving gets caught up with sponsorships of other things. But in the main, I think, yes, Bahamians are coming to the fore, realizing their need for philanthropy within the country, and it is improving.
Yeah. So, Neil, tell us what it means to be the conservation manager. What is that about? You can turn that a little bit there.
So, being the conservation manager for a property like Baha Mar is a huge undertaking. As you can imagine, we are one of the world leaders in hospitality, especially for a luxury market. And being the conservation manager means being the face of this brand's social responsibility to the environment. And we take that very seriously at Baha Mar. Like Mr. Sands had mentioned, there are more than $300,000 worth of subsidies that are going to be issued this year. And one of those that we've been most proud of in the last few years has been our partnership with the Bahamas National Trust. And as a part of my work, I had launched this Coins for Conservation series. I actually have one of the coins here for you to take a look at. And this Coins for Conservation series was a strategic partnership with the Bahamas National Trust. And that oversaw the creation of a silver coin. So the coin itself is 100% sterling silver. It was gazetted by Parliament and minted by the Royal Mint. And that coin is a very special coin to us because there are only 500 of those coins in existence. And they're only available here at Baha Mar in our Conservation Education Center, as well as in the Current in their retail space. And the proceeds from this coin were directly given to the Bahamas National Trust to continue their flamingo conservation program.
Wow.
And so to circle back to your initial question, it means seeing the preservation and the continuance of this work. And it also means that kids who grew up the way I grew up and the way that my siblings and friends have grown up get to continue to benefit locally and have their skills at the forefront. So conservation manager for an entity like this is a responsibility I take very seriously.
And the staff, is there volunteerism? Or how does that work?
So
they encourage?
volunteerism.
Let me help him. So, part of the KPI of every single employee at Baha Mar is they have to participate in some type of volunteerism and work with the foundation.
Fantastic.
So we make it an obligation for them all to participate in various, because we have multiple events and the same people can't, and the team can't do it, all of it. Some events require 40, 50 people Our golf tournament, for example, is like 75 people. So volunteerism is a very important part of the ethos of Bahama and also the Bahama Resort Foundation.
Yeah. Excellent, excellent.
And you find a change in those people who may have, for the first time volunteering for something, a change in their mindsets?
Absolutely. I think participating in things that are giving back to the community is very rewarding for the staff members here at Bahama.
Yeah.
Very rewarding.
I would have to echo Mr. Sands' sentiments. We have so many volunteers that participate in the conservation initiatives. Actually, what was mentioned earlier on the show was our Sustainability Champions program, and that ties in directly to what Mr. Sands mentioned about KPIs. Year after year, they give their time. In some cases, they bring their families out, and overall, they have shown a tremendous interest in the work that the Bahama Resort Foundation does for the wider community. We've seen examples, and what we have been doing in the last 2 years especially has been driving home our commitment to those sustainability development goals. And so when we do have these initiatives, we mention which goals these are impacting for the local community. Is it goal 1 of decreasing poverty? Is it goal number 8 for increasing economic investments? Is it goals 13, 14, and 15 that speak to climate change, life below water, and life on land? And these are all things that our associates are learning about from my team and from the Resort Foundation's efforts. So we've seen a notable increase in the number of interests and the efforts being put forth in the community. Today, after this broadcast, we actually have our Earth Day plant giveaway, and that has been on the calendars for
And how many are we giving away today?
We're giving away 500 seedlings today to our associates. And through this effort, we've seen in the last 3 years, many of our associates, especially from the food and beverage sectors, they have started their own gardens. They have become small-scale farmers, and they have been really excited. All week, all last week, they've been asking me, what plants are we having? Are we having peppers? Are we having soursop? Are we having lettuce? So
What plants are you having? What will you be
That's
doing?
a secret.
Okay.
But what I will tell you is that we are prioritizing native plants.
Okay.
And so things that grow naturally in the Bahamas and those vegetation items that are going to thrive and they will be sustainable and add to our local flora and fauna.
That is beautiful. Wow. So what's next for the foundation?
Well, like I said, the big event is our golf tournament, which is in June, which is a major event for generating income for us to give away. But obviously, we participate in multiple events on an almost weekly basis that we do many things.
And in the future, 5 years from now, or do you want to see something that you're not doing now, but hope in the future?
We're involved in multiple large projects. I need almost a whole show. Our participation with the National Art Gallery and the work that we're helping them to upgrade their various facilities. Our participation in a number of historical sites and so forth. We're looking for helping and assist in that particular area. We just launched a tennis program for primary school students where we're teaching and training the PE teachers in this type of event within their particular school. So the gamut of what we're doing, we're impacting lives at an earlier age to be able to be sustainable at an older age.
That's wonderful stuff. Keep up the great work that you're doing, Robert Sands, O'Neill Edon. Thank you so much. All right, so there's also exciting things going on at ESPA. Erica Knott is here to tell us about that. Tell us what ESPA is, and then we'll get into some of the.
Tell us if he's pronouncing it right.
Yes. So ESPA is a 30,000 square foot standalone flagship spa, and it's designed as a full wellness destination. We have 24 treatment rooms, a natural nail studio, and a 10,000 square foot fitness center. And we offer fitness and wellness classes as well. Not only that, we do have a boutique retail area, and it features spa products and more for at-home wellness. And we cover everything from relaxation, fitness, and recovery.
Okay. All right. So we were hearing a little bit about this off air. We talked about the flamingos already. Were you doing some interesting things with the flamingos?
Yes. So, what better way to connect nature with wellness? So, we do offer a flamingo yoga program.
Wow.
Yeah. So, you get to be outdoors and you get to interact with the flamingos. And also, it's a fun, memorable, uniquely Bahamian experience.
I bet.
Yeah,
I bet.
imagine.
So how does it work exactly? And what can't you do? What should you do with the flamingos? How does that work?
Okay, so we do have yoga mats that we take out on our lawn, of course, and then we have an instructor that is there, and we also have our wildlife team that is there as well that guides the flamingos and also instructs, the guests on what to do and what not to do. They're allowed to take photos with the flamingos afterwards, and they also show areas that they're allowed to, touch these wonderful animals.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's, so
It's all about the experience of customers.
Yeah.
The new customer or guest of resorts wants experiential.
Something unique.
Something that is very unique. It can't be the same.
Right.
Something that differentiates you. And a lot of what we're talking about differentiates
Absolutely.
Bahamas from many of the other resorts around the world.
Can't say they offer that in Alaska or anything. No one's offering that.
And I'm sure they need a pop of color, something they could post online.
Yeah.
That's a beautiful one.
That sounds wonderful. So how does that work? If you want to be a part of that, what do you need to do?
Yes, so right now it's offered to our guests, and they have to visit SBA to sign up in advance.
Okay. All right. And you've got some other things for cancer patients. Tell us about your oncology program.
Yeah, so what we found is that around 10% of SPA clients may be navigating or recovering from cancer. So we had the therapists trained and certified through Wellness for Cancer, and we created a specialized oncology massage program that focuses on safe, compassionate, and adaptive care. So as part of our community outreach, we visited the Cancer Society of the Bahamas, offering massage services, and looking forward to do that again very soon.
Very nice.
Wow. Wow. So again, what do you need to do if you want to be a part of that? If you need to sign up?
Yeah, so we usually reach out to the Cancer Society, and we would arrange all of that.
Yeah. Wow. And what else? Do you offer any special packages? Is it just for guests, or what else do people need to know about that spot?
Specials.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we do have, first of all, there's over 500 SPAs around the world, right? So each brand, there's something that connects the country to that brand, right?
Okay.
So for us, we have our Exuma Salt Massage, and the Exuma Salt is transported from the Exuma Salt Pond by boat. And its mineral content is healing, and we use this in a foot bath to start the experience.
Oh, wow.
So that's one that we have. And then we also have an offering for locals as well called the Truly Bahamian package as well, where they can, just come and unwind and relax and restore.
I think I need
That's
that.
a special price offering.
Local rate. Local rate for,
I think I need the Exuma Salt
Yeah.
bath. Yeah,
I definitely need that.
good. All right, so what are your hours? What do people need to know about when you're available?
So our fitness center is open from 6 a.m. until 8 p.m., but our spa operates from 9 a.m. until 8 p.m.
Okay. Great stuff.
Very good.
This is very exciting. Erica Knott with SPA, thank you so much for being here. Again, Robert Sands and O'Neill Leadon, thank you. It's been great talking with you again. Thank you so much for having us here on Earth Day. We've got a whole lot more to talk about coming up after the break. We'll be back. This is Morning Blend on Guardian Radio. Stay with us.
Seem to go that you don't know what you got till it's gone. The day paradise, put up a parking lot.
5 years of POP rule. Are you better off today? While you work, they've spent millions on taxpayer-funded trips, a government-funded luxury car, and handed out hundreds of millions in no-bid contracts. But for the rest of us, gas and groceries through the roof, VAT on bread basket items, healthcare that is broken, unaffordable, and out of reach. And it's not just your wallet. For 5 years, illegal immigrants have flooded our communities, putting excessive pressure on our schools, our housing, and our social services. As they flood in, Bahamian families fall behind. Under the F&M, there will be a change. The F&M has a plan to address the rising cost of living, secure our borders, protect Bahamians from illegal immigrants, and fix our health care. Because the F&M knows our job is to work for you and not the few. This message was paid for and authorized by the Free National Movement.
No one likes a fender bender.
Oh, man.
From a little scratch to a full mashup, NUA Insurance has got you covered with auto insurance tailored to fit your needs and budget. For affordable rates with free on-site accident assistance, visit us online or in branch and just ask us. NUA Insurance. Ask us because we've got you covered.
Struggling to find your financial rhythm? Make that move to Fidelity and let us help you orchestrate your financial goals into perfect harmony with free financial coaching sessions. Make that move today. Call 356-7764.
Fidelity, we're good for you.
In Andros, where the roads ain't right.
Oh, Andre! The F&M's Fire Forward Rally moves to Mangrove Key this Wednesday, April 22nd, 8 p.m. at Dorset Park, Mangrove Key. F&M's come here, man. D'Angelo Ferguson, your candidate Julian Gibson, Shannon Cartwright, deputy leader, and Michael Pintard, the party leader. 8 p.m. Come here, plans on how the F&M will work for Central, Mangrove Key, and South Andrews.
Landy says it's progress, we see the joke.
At Star General, you can go gold. Comprehensive car insurance covers loss or damage from accidents, fire, theft, and third-party liability. But the Gold package gives you increased coverage for rental car and windscreen, personal accident, medical benefits, deductible waiver, and 24-hour roadside assistance where available. Our Star General Gold package also gives you up to $2,500 for accidental damage to a rental car anywhere in the Bahamas. Go gold with Star General. Insurance made simple.
Screws and Fasteners World, Balfour Avenue and Palm Beach Street, has those hard-to-find fasteners for you right now. You can find stainless steel regular hex, carriage bolts, galvanized bolts, threaded rods, nails, self-tap screws, sex bolts, anchor bolts, turnbuckles, masonry tools, hand tools, and weed whacker strings. Check out the rope selection and car body fasteners, too. Special orders are welcome. It's your #1 fastener store. Screws and Fasteners World, Balfour Avenue and Palm Beach Streets. Call 326-1976.
Tired of banks forcing you to use technology to bank the way they want you to? Your convenience is important. So no matter what your banking needs, Commonwealth Bank's friendly staff are always available in branch for that personal one-on-one service. But when you choose technology, our online and mobile banking app offers you state-of-the-art functionality. The choice is yours. Commonwealth Bank. Bank the way you want.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM, streaming on GuardianTalkRadio.com and the Guardian Radio app, Nassau, Bahamas.
Oh, yeah. All right. My beautiful islands. I tell you, if the good Lord never goes on holiday, tell me why he made the Bahamas. If the good Lord never used to come this way.
We are back with this special edition of Morning Blend coming to you live from Bahamar on Earth Day. Dwight Strachan along with Chester Robards. And this morning we are now talking about culture and the environment, conservation, and how it all ties together. Very happy to have with us from the Current here at Bahamar, Holly Parati, and from the Forestry Unit, Director Danielle Hannock. Good to see you all. Good to have you back with us. Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning. Good
All
morning.
right, so Holly, I guess we're going to begin with you. Holly Parati with the Current. Remind folks what the Current is for those who might not be familiar with it.
The Current is the arts hub at Bahamar, and it's responsible for, one of the largest collections of art in the Bahamas. So it's a very lofty responsibility, but it's handled very well with a very good team, top shelf, top class team of artists and people who have respect for culture and that responsibility that we all share.
Wow. All right. So tell us how this ties into Earth Day and conservation and what we're here today to talk about.
Well, I share two hats. So I wear two hats here, where I kind of I represent the arts and culture of the Conservation and Sustainability Department.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
You're going to break it down for us.
Tie those two together.
Yeah.
Two together. I think currently we're trying to do that as well, because of, my position here is it's in the stages of bringing the concept to life.
Okay.
And to speak of it right now would be a bit premature, and I think we'll do that in the future. But I am the assistant director of Bahamar Farms. Like I said, I work very closely with art direction and the current, and like I said, that responsibility of arts and culture from that perspective.
Okay. Bahamar Farm sounds like a whole show. We should talk about that.
Yeah.
Mhm.
You want to talk about that?
Give us a little hint. We might have to come back. But
It's I think it's a pioneering initiative where we're all about recycling of the hotel recyclable stream that resorts, pardon me, of Bahamar stature. There's a certain responsibility of having the not filling the landfills with I don't like saying trash. I like to say recyclables, because certain types of products or objects and stuff that we use, they have life beyond the purpose for which they are made.
Yeah.
And we're going to start off with the Recenter, which is a largely arts and culture experience that we will bring not only the hotel guests, but also Bahamian artists and the community. So it's like I said, it's going to happen. Bradley and I are working with John Cox very, very closely to bring this vision to the forefront.
That sounds very exciting.
I'm over the moon.
Yeah.
It's a responsibility that I'm glad I'm taking on later in my career as an artist and a professional, because I do come from an arts background. And there's moments of, oh my gosh, is this what I'm here to do? Then it's also balanced out, like, oh my gosh, this is what I'm here to do.
Yeah.
So good things are coming.
Any timeline for that? What is it looking like?
Beginning I would say the infancy stage of we're opening the Recenter to have a visiting team of artists from a university. It's called OCAD, which is in Canada, and they will be bringing a group of artists and practitioners from that tertiary level to begin working with the materials like glass, like plastics, like metal, like, particularly aluminum, that will all be transformed and broken down to be used as material in the creation of their artwork.
Excellent.
And what was your primary medium, or is, as an artist?
I am I'm a licensed printmaker. I'm not licensed, but my degree and my experience is in printmaking, i.e. lithographs, etchings, some woodcuts, so the respect I have for the media that I'm working with, we're dealing with lithography is limestone, etching is zinc or copper, and then obviously woodcuts would be, used. I think it's more processed wood that is made into the usable substrate from which you can create the work.
Mm-hmm.
So, but since coming back to the Bahamas, I've worked in what we consider mixed media. I'm using and repurposing things like plexiglass. I have a very strong connection to utilitarian materials, and I repurpose them. And like you're thinking about acrylic, which is plexiglass, is one of the most horrific things to repurpose from its original.
I can imagine.
It's brutal. I look at it and I give myself credit for saying, hey, let's give it a little bit longer of a presence and a use. I love working with metal fasteners. So my narrative, I think, is to use everyday objects to then bring forth my narrative as an artist.
And are you seeing that type of mindset with Bahamian artists? Are they thinking about that, thinking about not harming the environment and conservation, reusing and recycling?
Definitely, because I think that my colleagues and my mentors and predecessors, we look at materials simply because, we don't have an art store like Dick Blick's or around the corner. So we've had to be very creative in what types of materials we have at hand to be able to, what we call it, jerry rig?
Right.
You find a way to use what you have, or you find things that you can reclaim. And one of which I'm very happy to have the chance to talk about it, is especially artists like Antonius Roberts and John Beadle,
Yes.
who, not to my knowledge, and they can correct me, John Beadle obviously has passed, but he would have corrected me very, very curtly. He would have been like, he'd just give me that look. But Antonius, I'm recalling that I can't think of an artist who has actually gone into, say, the forests or the pine barrens and removed a growing tree to create artwork. Antonius, he's well known for working with sacred spaces. In Fuse, he took a mahogany tree that was removed for purposes we don't need to discuss, why, but he transformed that tree, literally the tree. He inverted it so the roots are now the top, and that's where you find the narrative based on the song Back to Back, Belly to Belly, with all of that cultural weight in it. But I wanted to speak specifically about my first encounter with Antonius's work right in my face, and it's 9 Angels. And what it is, it's a, we can call it a sculpture or an installation where he literally took the beams of his family home that was burned and repurposed them into this beautiful artwork. It's a Madeira, which has, in history, Bahamian construction and in that utilitarian application, used in beams, used in floor joists, and it's known for the durability and the longevity of it.
Yeah.
So that's why it was used in construction. And Antonius used it to really honor his grandmother and the home that he grew up in and lived in. And the beautiful sculptures that he has the gift of taking something and transforming it, but you still have the experience of seeing it in its natural existence.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
All right, so we see the theme, wood, trees, it keeps coming up. So Danielle Hannick with Forestry Unit, does that make you cringe, or can these work hand in hand? Can art and conservation for trees and forests work hand in hand?
Oh, definitely, definitely. So good morning, everyone. Good morning, Bahamas. I'd like to say trees, forestry is always a part of Bahamian culture. We don't think about it, but it's always been there. It's been integral. So from wood carvers, for example, even from our straw vendors and our indigenous craft, I'd like to say, we like to highlight it. Because when we say straw, it kind of lessens it, or cheapens it. But actually, if you look at the quality of our work, and this is that orange economy, the fact that our culture, and so this forests and trees are just one medium to do so. And so with that, we love it, the fact that highlighting that there is a way to make a living. You can express art. I believe Bahamians were very tactile. We love working with our hands. And this is an example of that. So using our mahoganies, using our yellow wood even, these are woods that we've used throughout our culture. We think as forests as our background, trees in a background like bush, that they don't have value. But this is an example that they do have value. And this is just one of those mediums. So sustainably harvest, yes, we do endorse that. And just highlighting the fact that trees are part of our culture in every way. And so this is just one of them. So we commend that. So happy Earth Day, everyone. And the fact that this is an example of saying, how is our earth benefiting us? We don't tangibly think about it. We just kind of gloss over it. So it's great to highlight that connectivity and highlighting the importance, like our lignum vitae, tree of life, that's our national tree. The idea is that these are another way that we could use it.
All right, so how do you do that? How do you sustainably harvest these trees? Do you need the permission of the forestry unit? How do you collaborate?
Right. We love our permits. And I had to be reminded the other day, my sister, she's like, not everybody knows these permits like you do, Daniel. And I'm like, yes. It's just what I do every day. But it's true to know that now, because of the pressures, we want to ensure that we have the resource for future. So to do that, we want to harvest it sustainably. And I find that usually persons who work with the material, they know how to naturally do that. It is persons who, I would say, who are new to the industry or who are not aware of how methods are used, that they're the ones that we have to educate and advise to be like, hey, there's a rotation to this, that you have to not overly take. You take what you need. And then guess what? Community. This is a community. You need to make sure that where you're going, that you ensure like, hey, did y'all harvest over here or can I go over here? And so I think it's just reintroducing the connectivity that we used to have, introducing our basis of people would say we used to be so connected. And so we have to be more intentional with that.
Yeah.
And this is an example of that. So this is why these shows are important, to highlight the fact that we are all one community. We may be over, but we are on the same team. At the end of the day, we love our country, we love our nation, and we want to make sure that it's sustainably developed. Yeah. And this is one way to do that. So check us out on the government website. Just type in Bahamas Forestry, you'll get our handle. And if you have any questions, let us know. And if you want to do it, like we just had a guy who was interested in doing cascarilla harvesting. And it's a great concept, but let's help you with that. Just don't think that you're just going to go in an area and think that you're going to do it all. No.
Right.
But what to do too is like noting that working with communities, and there's great value that we have with in our communities throughout the islands, and especially islands that are traditionally known for this. So Acklands and Crooked Island known for cascarilla, and even they are starting to do some carvings from them. And so that's interesting because I never knew that. But even in Long Island, harvesting the silvertop for doing straw work, Eleuthera as well, Andrus as well, they're known for this. And so the idea is that these communities, and that's the idea of empowering them to then say, like, help us know how you want to manage this area. And that's been a beauty because now we have communities coming to us to say, hey, we want to conserve what we have. We don't want it to be developed in this way because this is our way of life.
Yeah.
And this is a form of highlighting that. We don't, we like the fact that there's partnership in highlighting our orange economy, the beauty of our culture. And so there are ways to coexist with development and sustainability.
Yeah.
And so this is that. So that's all the permitting issue is. It's not preventing anybody, but the idea is let's make sure we know where it is, that it's being protected, and that in 10 years, 50 years, 100 years, we can have this resource.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, Holly, it's been working out, right? No issues.
Not so much that I am aware. I mean, to speak about the permits, if I may, as a child, speaking about how Bahamians incorporate, nature, we wouldn't buy Christmas trees. My parents would pay $5 for a permit, and we would go in the Pine Barrens, and we would spend all morning looking for the perfect pine tree. And I don't recall buying a Christmas tree until I was very well into my adult age. Yeah.
Nice.
So that affinity, that connection, it's beyond the scope of what we actually think about. And yeah, here we are.
Wow, things have changed a lot, hey? Yeah.
I hope my wife was listening to Holly just now because I'm a conservationist, not a hoarder.
All right, sounds like we'll talk about that on the relationship show.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
One. But Holly Parati with The Current, thank you so much for being here. Danielle Hannock with the Forestry Unit, thank you.
Thank you
so much. Happy Earth Day to both of you.
You're safe.
We're going to be back after the news. A whole lot more here from Bahamar to talk about on this Earth Day. This is a special edition of Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9. Stay with us.
Tell me why he made these islands. Yes. Tell me if it's angels never liked a sunny day. Tell me why we have no winter.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM. Streaming on GuardianTalkRadio.com and the Guardian Radio app. Nassau, Bahamas. The views and opinions of the hosts and guests are their own and do not necessarily reflect the views of the management and staff of Guardian Radio.
Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day.
Good morning and welcome to a special edition of Morning Blend Business on this Wednesday, April 22nd, 2026. Welcome back to our Morning Blend listeners. We are coming to you live from Bahamar today for Earth Day, a special Earth Day broadcast. Dwight Strachan with you along with Chester Robards. And we've been having a great conversation with the folks here at Bahamar all morning long. So we continue our Earth Day discussions. Right now, we are very happy to have with us from Bahamar, Chef Tevin Kemp, and from the kitchen here at Bahamar, Gabrielle Sawyer, and also from the Bahamas National Trust, we've got Giselle Dean and Kimberly Knowles. Good morning to all of you. Great to see you. Great to see you all again. All right, so we've got a full crew. Where do we begin? So let's talk about this. This is a partnership between Bahamar and BNT. Let's talk about it and how it all got started. Who's going to kick it off for us?
Well, I think it got started with bush teas, did it not?
Definitely. With bush teas. Everything bush teas and some good Bahamian food, right?
Yeah, it's the wonderful support that we've been getting from Bahamar for a while now. And when we did a bush tea demonstration for the Bahamar team, it kind of sparked the idea for this event, which I'm super excited about. And I know that Bahamar is also excited about doing some cocktails using those bush tea recipes and items to kind of bring them into the new age, I guess.
Yes. And when you have bush tea, it comes as a surprise when you had incorporated in so many different preparations, especially with Bahamian cooking and Bahamian food. So the oven inside there is quite astonishing, quite different, right?
It absolutely is.
All right, so let's explore that a little bit more. So tell us what really sparked the idea that we've got to do something more than just with this.
One of the big things is that the BNT tries to push bush teas. It's a part of our history. It's a part of our culture. It's a part of the Bahamas. It's an important part for a very, very long time. And I think that Bahamar sees that and wants to sort of explore that part of Bahamian culture and bringing that into the modern age and us understanding exactly how that how nature, culture, new age, hospitality, tourism can all bind together.
And especially operating in space like the kitchen, what is an interactive experience to merge it along with BNT is amazing. Chef Gabby could dive more into details on what the kitchen offer, and then also how it connects to this as well.
And a lot of people don't know what the kitchen is. So Gabrielle, sorry, tell us more about that.
Right, so the kitchen is a fun, interactive space where we do culinary classes. So I have to put the fun in there because people think, oh, cooking is such a chore. Why would I want to cook on vacation? It's so fun. You get to learn a lot. We like to say it's international technique, but of course we put the Bahamian twist. So we try to bring a lot of the culture in our classes with everything, with drinks, with food, of course, with desserts, and of course, this new exploration, which is now bush tea. So we're super excited about that. Cooking classes, we guide you through step by step in a very interactive way.
So it's all Bahamian.
So we do have some international menus, but even if it's an international menu, we definitely fuse Bahamian cuisine into there. So using things like Vitamalt, we use local peppers, we use, what are some other things? So many things.
Lionfish.
yeah.
We also use, I think that's quite important to mention of as well.
Local honey.
Local honey. Right,
Exuma salt.
Yes.
So we dive a lot into
And then also supporting some of our BAMC as well. So we go in ahead and purchase whatever they have, and we incorporate it in some way in some of our food.
All right. So if you go to the kitchen and you're dealing with the bush teas, how does it work? What am I making it myself or?
So yes, you have our guidance, me and Chef Gabby and also the team there, and it's a guided step-by-step process where you create from start to finish, not only a dish but also a drink as well.
Okay.
So I think that's big, and it's not only a dish that I carry home. It's a dish that I didn't believe I made this, and it actually tastes good.
And you get the recipes.
And you get
right.
You do the drink mixing experience as well?
Yes, mixology classes.
Mixology classes. So it didn't come to me. But is that bush tea's part of that too? Or
yes.
Is it even a thing? Can you do a mixology class with bush tea?
Definitely.
Oh, really? Okay.
So we most times when we have bush tea, they have different flavor profiles.
Right.
Most times earthy or sometimes bitter.
Yeah.
Right. But they are found in things that we taste every day.
Right.
Let's find a balance on how well we can balance the flavors.
Now, I'm not saying we're using Cersei.
Yes.
No, I can't see that one working.
Right. Those people class.
Right. Yes. Right.
Some gamalame. So there's actually a lot of people think of bush teas as Cersei, as that thing your grandmother burnt and it did burn and it did taste bitter and all of that. But there's so many different types of bush tea, and there's so many different ways that you can utilize them, so many different ways that you can brew them to have lighter flavors, to have deeper flavors. When you're mixing them with different sweeteners, with different alcohols, with different things, it can really change the flavor profile of it. So it's just bringing all of that together. It's work for it, really.
Definitely.
So how does it work? Is BNT out in they're picking leaves and bringing them to Bahamas? Is that it? You're doing the harvest thing?
We've also worked with the Bahamar team to educate them on what those bush teas are, so that they can also collect themselves and teach others this as well. So we have before brought our teas here. We will have some samples at the event that we're going to be doing of what those bush teas look like and kind of talking people through that. But yeah, Bahamar team's been doing great with collecting their own now that we've shown them what they need to be doing as well.
And I think that's very important, especially when for the younger people growing up, most of us don't know what these bush tea is.
Yeah, no.
And I say us because I young too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Most of us, you start calling off these. The most common is Cersei, Moringa, and those different stuff, right? But when you dive into things that you can't even pronounce, you want to have to question why. And I think it's very important for us to be abreast with it and learn how does it work, its benefits. Well, in a couple of years, if we don't know about it, we just won't grow.
Yeah, people mowing it down, don't even know what they're doing, right? So a little bit later, we'll get a cocktail recipe from you. Yeah. Okay. All right. So Giselle Dean, tell us about your role and BNT and what you are trying to do as well.
So my name is Giselle Dean. I'm a senior science officer at the BNT, and what that kind of means is that I go out to the different national parks and I survey them, make sure that the environments are still healthy. I do a lot of land-based stuff, so that includes checking to see if our native bush tea plants are, present and, there's no disease running through them.
Where do you do that? Where does it happen?
All over the place. I do it here in Nassau. We have 33 national parks across the country. And so a lot of them are marine, but so I'm mostly land-based. So we have parks like Abaco National Park, which is where I've been most recently. Making sure that the parrots and the birds there are doing well. So it's a lot of different things that I have to keep tabs on, making sure our environments are healthy.
Is there a danger that we could over farm the bush teas and other things like that?
Well, that's always like kind of a good question. I think a lot of the bush teas that we use tend to be hardy and fast growing plants. Not like, Lignum vitae, which is our national tree. They don't take like forever to grow up. But, with a lot of the time, with the clear cut the clear cutting for like development and stuff like that, that will completely destroy, you know, the seed beds that are in the soil, and that could, you know, impact how they come back up. So.
Do you have any animals eating?
Oh yeah. Berries. You know, strongback. Birds love strongback. Let's see, cerasee. Oh, you know the cerasee fruit, the like little red things when the pods burst open. Those actually taste really good. People can eat them, and birds also love them. So you know.
I know.
Are they?
If you ever see an open cerasee pod, you should try it. It's pretty good.
Really? Are the bush teas still our grandmother's bush tea? Have the plants changed over time? Do we know if at all?
No, I
It's still the same.
Yeah, so the local
See.
ecology, what it's called, local ecological knowledge, that's the knowledge that's passed down to
Yeah.
people about the environment. That's been the same the whole time.
Yeah.
So I think it's important that we keep that going through events like this, and yeah, make sure
Yeah.
everybody knows about it.
Are there bushes that we don't know about that we should be using that we need to expand knowledge on?
There are a number, honestly.
Gotta
I
be,
love
right?
bush tea
Uh-huh.
and the fact that I mean, we all know that's our native medicine, right? Like we didn't have doctors, we didn't have like access to all of these things. And it still astounds me to this day that even when we talk about like research into plants and things like that, there genuinely isn't enough. Out of the billions of plants that there are, they've maybe studied 30,000 of them. You know what I mean? So people can say whatever they like, but at the same time, a lot of the medicines that we use today are derivatives from natural plants that we just learned to make in labs, right? But we're not pushing that research forward and looking into it. And I think it's important to keep those things alive within our culture and within what we do and protecting spaces that allow those. And, you know, the BNT is not just about, obviously we are about nature and we are about the earth and all of those things, but we're also about educating people on our own culture. It is about Bahamian culture.
Yeah.
And bush tea is a massive part of that. And it's important to all of us, really.
As a bush tea connoisseur, like coming from a chef, like as a bush tea connoisseur, I call you. What would you say is the best tasting bush tea?
I think as a starting point, I'm always going to go with fever grass.
Yeah.
That's your simplest, that's your easiest, that's your low hanging fruit.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
your way to
definitely.
introduce people to bush tea, and they're like, "Oh, this is actually really good."
Yeah.
And then you can kind of smooth them into maybe like a gamalame. Sweet Margaret is also really good. I really enjoy a sweet Margaret tea.
Yeah.
But we'll mix different ones together as well to create blends that do different things. But yeah, Sweet Margaret, that's definitely the one that I think people should know a little bit more about.
Yeah.
Strongback in a mix is always nice. Love Vine is also really nice. I like the Sweet Margaret Love Vine Gamalame mix. That's one of my favorite.
Wow.
we use a lot of the fever grass we use a lot of fever grass within our culinary experiences as well. You find them in so many of our dishes. Chef Gabby, you want to mention like where you would find them?
Yeah.
The dishes? So we try to do a lot of fusion cuisines, like we mentioned before. So we have it featured in a lot of Asian menus. And then also we do a backyard grilled fish one. So it's like Bahamian style, but we put a little bit of fever grass in there just to get that. So that's a great one
sounds
as well.
good.
Yeah.
Soursop is another one that we like to use. We use soursop leaves, and then we also make a really good sky juice that has soursop in it. So
Really?
Instead of the going in with the sweet milk,
Mhm.
going with soursop.
Okay. Oh, that sounds excellent.
creamy effect,
Yeah.
but totally different flavor and the health benefit
Yeah.
of it.
This guy just be banging over there. The kitchen. yeah.
All right.
The kitchen changed my culinary life. I'm telling you.
So, Chef Gabby, Chef Tevin, are there other things that you wish Bahamians would use more of that you all have started to incorporate? Things that Bahamians aren't thinking about?
Absolutely. So lionfish, I think, is one of our biggest things. I think we have started to push lionfish a little bit more. And initially, Bahamians were really afraid of it because we know it does have some poisonous effects. But we've navigated around that. We know that once you cut those barbs off, the meat is ready to go.
Yeah.
And lionfish, it's so versatile. You can do anything with it, just like you can do with any other fish. The flavor is really good. The texture is pretty similar to like a snapper. So I really wish that Bahamians would dive into lionfish a little bit more.
Yeah.
I know you find it a little bit around Nassau on special events, say like a homecoming, but I wish that you could walk into a restaurant on a daily basis and you have lionfish on the menu. I think that would be a key thing.
You can find it in some of the restaurants here at Bahama as well. You can find it in Cleo.
Yeah.
I know that for sure. I would say from my side, what should Bahamians start doing more? Cooking. We need to start cooking.
Yeah,
We
yeah.
need to start cooking more. we do not cook enough. And a part of it is, I guess, timing and all of
The
our
convenience,
things,
yeah.
convenience.
Mhm.
But I
Fear.
think it's finding recipes that you actually enjoy doing,
Right.
that you can make in bulk, and you can
Mhm.
find some way to save it. But I think we need to start cooking more.
Yeah.
We need to start coming back to the table and enjoying Sunday meals.
Absolutely.
Right. Go with my Grammy and Annie and whoever it is, and make sure enjoying meals.
Yeah.
Most times you see, especially on a Sunday, fast food lines.
Yeah, the lines are long. Just a few years ago, it wasn't like that at all. Yeah.
Right? We ain't no steamed chicken no more. Well, it's
No.
steamed chicken and cheese and rice. We don't really
No.
like how we used to.
That's crazy.
Right? So I would say that. Another thing is trying new things. Most times we would see recipes and we would be like, should I try this? I could take this out now and put it in. Try it. Try new recipes. If you see it, you might like it.
Yeah.
Yeah, one more thing I would say is buying produce locally. So we went to the Country Expo about 2 weeks ago.
Yes.
I just saw stall after stall with onions, I saw a celery bigger than my hand. And when you buy things locally, you know that there's not as much chemicals. You're supporting local businesses. So even if you go on Cowpen Road, there are a lot of farms in the back there that has a lot of produce. I really wish we would take our time, see what it is that we have locally before we buy from exported.
Do you see how long locally grown spinach lasts compared to the store-bought stuff? That tells you, that says a lot, right?
Those processed items as well, like even down to the jams. Those jams are really
Oh,
really
yeah.
good. When we go in the food store, instead of picking the jam to the right, you might look to the left, you might see Island Gal there, right?
Oh, amazing stuff. So what's next for the BNT? I know you will have a lot going on.
Yeah, so we have actually this weekend, we have National Parks Day coming up, which is all of our parks which have offices on them.
It's always around Earth Day, right?
Always around Earth Day. It's Saturday closest to Earth Day. So they will be open for free entry for those participating parks. Here in New Providence, visitors can enjoy Primeval Forest. We're going to have yoga there starting at 8 a.m. They're going to be guided tours. There's pottery classes. There's snake handling demonstrations.
Oh boy.
Stuff going on there. Yeah, they've got passports so you can visit different booths. They've got games going on at the retreat. Different classes that you can take, paint and sips, all of those types of things. And then obviously we have them in our out islands as well. So the Rand Nature Center in Grand Bahama, the Leon Levy Plant Preserve actually had theirs this past weekend. The Abaco National Park and Inagua National Park will be open to doing tours and doing different things. So it's sort of a day for everyone to get out and get into parks. Earth Day is about celebrating that. It's free for anybody to go into any national park on Saturday as that celebration of Earth Day and just enjoying nature and being in it. You know, do the guided tour, and our tour guides can show you some of the bush teas that we've got growing in our place, and you can, know what they look like and how to identify them and utilize them. It's just a really amazing day where we want, the national parks are for Bahamians. They are owned by Bahamians. This is for all of us.
Yeah.
It is to preserve the future for all of us and for all of us to enjoy it. And being out in nature is such a calming experience, I find so many times. Like, we don't take the time to stop and pause and just enjoy nature enough. I've actually tried doing it in the car now. Like, if I'm stuck in traffic, I'm like, stop being mad about being stuck in traffic. Look around. There's probably a bird in a tree somewhere that's like, something that you can watch. Like, around you everywhere. But in our national parks, they are there for you to serve as Bahamians, to provide these beautiful spaces for you to enjoy regularly. So for National Parks Day, this is our gift to you guys. Come out, enjoy. You can do all these activities. You can experience all these things. So yeah, we'd really love to have everybody come on out.
Get outside, cook more. Yeah, this is what you need to be doing. All right. So, and let people know what they need to do if they want to be a part of the kitchen. How does that work? Mm-hmm.
Sure. So everything for the kitchen is available online. You want to go at bahama.com. We're going to be under the experiences tab, and it's called the kitchen. Once you click on our page, all of our schedules, our menus, our prices are there. Just book in, tell us what your allergies are. We'll accommodate, and we'll see you soon.
What about top classes?
Our top class right now would be Taste and Technique. So we host it 3 days a week, Tuesdays, Thursdays, Saturdays, and it's mostly for adults. And it features a lot of different menus, all tying a little bit of Bahamian culture in there. So I would recommend that as my top class.
Peppercorn crusted skirt steak with vitamin reduction. And
Sorry, what?
smoked broth and cheese and roasted Brussels
What
sprouts.
day are we making?
White caramel
Tuesdays,
coming there.
Thursdays, Saturdays.
Listen to me. You need to learn that one.
Okay. You should have brought some samples for the next
You have
next
to
time.
cook the food.
Right. Yeah. All right, wonderful stuff. You all have a lot of fun here. But again, Giselle Dean and Kimberly Knowles with BNT, thank you. And chefs Tevin Kemp and Gabrielle Sawyer, thank you. Appreciate it. Keep with the great work that all of you are doing. Happy Earth Day to all of you. All right. We're going to take a break. This is a special edition of Morning Blend Business here on Guardian Radio 96.9 live at Bahamar. Stay with us.
Oh, yeah. All right.
Hey, folks, thanks for your patience. We'll be taking off very shortly. You should be wheels up in about 40 minutes. And due to a bumpy ride, snacks and beverage service has been suspended. AC has given us some trouble. Sorry, folks. And Wi-Fi is out. And so is the entertainment. Yeah, I'm sorry about the smell, folks. We are aware.
I know.
Just one more quick note. We are going to have to deplane.
Come on! We're like the plane ride that isn't a nightmare. CG Atlantic Agents and Brokers. Good like that.
Planning for retirement can be overwhelming, but with CFAL, it doesn't have to be. We offer tailor-made individual, group, and pension solutions that take the guesswork out of retirement planning. Whether it's for you or your company, don't leave your future to chance and let the trusted hands of CFAL's experts guide you toward peace of mind and financial stability. Low upfront costs and affordable monthly payments make it easy for you to build wealth so you can live well. Visit us at cfal.com to start on your path toward financial freedom. CFAL, growing wealth for future generations.
CFAL is a proud sponsor of Team Bahamas for the 2026 Carifta Games.
5 years of PLP rule. Are you better off today? While you work, they've spent millions on taxpayer-funded trips, a government-funded luxury car, and handed out hundreds of millions in no-bid contracts. But for the rest of us, gas and groceries through the roof, VAT on bread basket items, healthcare that is broken, unaffordable, and out of reach. And it's not just your wallet. For 5 years, illegal immigrants have flooded our communities, putting excessive pressure on our schools, our housing, and our social services. As they flood in, Bahamian families fall behind. Under the F&M, there will be a change. The F&M has a plan to address the rising cost of living, secure our borders, protect Bahamians from illegal immigrants, and fix our health care. Because the F&M knows our job is to work for you and not the few. This message was paid for and authorized by the Free National
Make
Movement.
Mother's Day unforgettable with Kelly's House and Home's Mother's Day sale starting Friday, May 1st through Saturday, May 9th. Save 20% on a lovely selection of dinnerware, glassware, luggage, silk flowers, and picture frames, except on net items. We have beautiful gifts that let Mom know just how much she's appreciated. Shop early and enjoy 20% off at Kelly's House and Home during our Mother's Day sale May 1st through 9th. Happy Mother's Day with love from Kelly's House and Home.
Put more money back in your pocket with the Fidelity Debt Consolidation Loan. Why pay more when you can pay less? Reduce your monthly debt payments down to one low. Apply for a Fidelity Debt Consolidation Loan today. Call 356-7764.
Fidelity, we're good for you.
CFAL, we understand that a secure future is the greatest gift you can give your employees. That's why our tailor-made group pension solutions are designed to fit the needs of both large and small companies. With CFAL, you can provide the retirement you and your employees deserve, ensuring peace of mind and financial stability for years to come. Join the many businesses that have already entrusted CFAL to create the right pension plan for their employees, and let us help you build a brighter future for your team. Visit us at cfal.com to get started on building wealth so you can live well. CFAL, growing wealth for future generations.
CFAL is a proud sponsor of Team Bahamas for the 2026 Carifta Games.
A paid political message by the Free National Movement's candidate for Fort Charlotte, Travis Robinson.
Port Charlotte, stand up! Bahamas, wake up! All across this nation, time to see the truth clear now. Tell Brave and Sebas, all money ain't good money. F&M, we ready. Hey! Hey! no plan. Save us get rich, now we run the land. While Bohemians catching hell again. Big mansion, big cars, big talk. But can't walk, the people walk. All that money and still can't rest. Power hungry, heart can't bless. All money ain't good money, brave you know. You sell the soul of the nation for a number show. Save us county million FNM say no. Watch solid rise, let the truth flow. All money ain't good money.
A paid political message by the Free National Movement's candidate for Fort Charlotte, Travis Robinson. This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM, streaming on GuardianTalkRadio.com and the Guardian Radio app, Nassau, Bahamas.
Welcome back to Morning Blend Business on Guardian Radio 96.9. It's a special edition of the show today. We're coming to you live from Bahamar. It is Earth Day, and it's a special Earth Day broadcast. We've been having a great morning here today. Dwight Strachan, along with Chester Robards, joining us now. We're very happy to have with us from DEV, the Department of Environmental Planning and Protection. We have Dr. Rihanna Neely Murphy and Kamisha Wilbur. And we also have from the Nature Conservancy, Natalie Miolis and Megan Fountain. Good morning, everybody. Great to have you with us.
Good morning. Thank you for having us.
All right, so we have a lot to talk about. Let's begin with DEP. Remind folks what DEP is all about, what it is that you do, what you don't do. Tell us about that.
Good morning, everyone, and good morning, Bahamas. So at the Department of Environmental Planning and Protection, we are the environmental regulators. So if there is anything that you need to do in the environment, first, seek out the department to make sure that everything is in line. Prior to even going to the Ministry of Works to get your building permit, come and get your certificate of environmental clearance or your letter. If this is a smaller project, it's much less time and you will save a lot of time, effort, and possibly money if you do it right the first time. So come and see us first before getting your building permit or any kind of permit. Before you put the tractor on the land, declare, come and find us. If you're a researcher and you want to do research in the Bahamas, come and see us because we regulate that as well.
Wow. Are people getting the message? Do you see people following the rules, or are they just bulldozing as soon as they can?
Once we started getting some assistance from the Bahamas Wildlife Enforcement Network, the environmental police, we started seeing a lot more compliance with environmental laws because they are out in the evenings patrolling when a lot of the illegal dumping is going on, when some of the clearing is happening in these wetlands, and they are able to catch people in the act and issue those fines on our behalf. And so when the police stop you, then it's, I didn't know, but you broken the law. Hey, those hefty fines of $10,000 and $20,000, and sometimes those fines pile up. We have, I think, a big haul one time of $110,000 one time.
Whoa.
And that's one set of activities. But now getting the message, money is involved. So we're happy for that. But we don't want to take your money. We want to conserve and preserve our environment. So come and find us first.
Yeah.
Do people understand that you said even small projects? So people might buy a small plot of land and think that they could just start to clear it. Do they understand that you need to know first what's on that property?
So the importance of the small projects and getting that letter is to ensure that you are not near any beach or coastal environments or mangroves, protected trees. So if you're not, we need to inspect that property, have a look at that. And if you're not near any of those, you can get an approval letter in 24 hours. But if you are, then we have some more work that we have to do.
Right. So outline the process for us. How long does it take to get these approvals and to do what you need to do with DEP?
So if it's a smaller project, less than a sixplex, or a small business, a small school that you want to open or construct, we have something called a Form A on the DEPP's website, depp.gov.bs. You fill out that form. It's very simple, not at all as complicated as the larger Form B for larger projects like a Bahama development or golf course or something. So you fill that out, give us the information, and if it all checks out, everything is clear, you can get a response from us within 24 to 48 hours. we will issue you a letter to say that there is no objection to your project proceeding, and you take that to the Ministry of Works.
Wow, wow. Okay, so when we talk about business developments, we keep hearing about EIAs and all these things. Tell us about those. Who's doing it? How long it should take? And what you use to determine whether this is going to be harmful or not.
So that is definitely a much more involved process. So if you need an EIA, if you are near an environmentally sensitive area, if you are working on a very large development that has a lot of complex components, there's a dredging component, there's excavation, there's a golf course, any of those things will require, especially on virgin land, a full environmental impact assessment. And that triggers another process, the environmental impact assessment process. With public consultation, you have to produce all of these documents for the department for its review. And we have a list of approved environmental consultants in the Bahamas, and that list is also available on the DEPP's website for people who you can trust and who we would accept documents from.
Right.
Once we take those documents, we review them, and we are bound to place those EIAs on the website prior to any public consultation. You guys would have seen them for any number of public consultations held in the past. Bahama has a public consultation coming up next month. And so those documents are going to be on the website very soon, within the 14 days. So once we have those documents and we review them, they're approved for public consumption or public viewing. We post them. You have 14 days prior to the public consultation. Then there's the public consultation, and then you have another 21 days after for the public to continue to give us its input. It's a large document, so it's a lot to digest. Sometimes you may need help understanding what's in the document, and so we give you some time to get the clarification that you need and to ask the questions that you have.
Do you have challenges with compliance, or companies or people doing what you tell them to do, or what do you find?
We do. Developers, I'm going to let Ms. Carisha Wilberg get in here in a second, but we also have to find developers. We have to stop work sometimes and ensure that there is compliance. The importance of the environmental consultant is, especially in the Family Islands, where we don't have a physical presence in the Family Islands.
Right.
We require daily monitoring. And so the environmental consultant's job is essentially to be our eyes and ears on these projects. And they have the power to stop work on our behalf if things are going in a way that is not consistent with the environmental management plan or good environmental practice. And so that has happened. We have more and more of the community members, people that are employed on the work site, calling the DEPP, hey, I saw this, and I'm not sure that this is what they're supposed to be doing.
Oh, wow.
I'll send somebody, and we do. And so these are
Well, that's
part of
great.
the reasons why we're here today, to encourage more people. If you see something, say something,
Yeah,
and we'll be there.
yeah. Kamisha? Yeah, what can you tell us? And what should members of the public, people who are working on these sites, if they see something, what should they do?
So persons who would find persons being being non-compliant with the legislation and the law can send us an email at information@depp.gov, or they can call us at 322-4546, or they can come into our office, which is located on Charlotte House on the ground floor in Charlotte and Shirley Streets, to lodge any complaint that they might have.
I see you all saying DEPP. You don't like DEP?
I don't like this. The personal thing.
Oh, okay. All right, we'll stop saying. Yeah, okay. So do you have enough staff? Enough people? Are there?
No.
No.
We do not.
Well, how many? What's your staff complement, and what would you prefer? What would be ideal?
We need to at least double our staff complement.
Wow.
We have about 20 staff members, technical staff members right now. And that's just for New Providence. So we need to, I would say, more than double our staff complement to be able to even think that we can properly regulate and monitor activities on the Family Island ourselves. Right now, we are heavily dependent on island administrators, on, like I said, the environmental consultants and people in the community to report what they are seeing. We do visits to development projects on a quarterly basis, but a lot can happen in 3 months. And so if something happens yesterday and nobody noticed it, and that could be a festering environmental issue.
Right.
Once we get it, it may be very late for us to be able to fix it. And fines, yes, we can always levy fines, but we are here to protect our environment, and sometimes money is just not enough to replace what was lost.
For those big projects that have to produce EIAs and EMPs, are you mandated to go out to those sites to see what it is that they're talking about in these documents?
Oh, of course. So the EIA document, there's a framework as well on the website of what we expect generally in environmental impact assessment. But depending on the peculiarities of your project, we include specific conditions or requirements that must be met in the environmental impact assessment. And so we advise the developer what must be included in the EIA through the terms of reference that they provide to us. And sometimes they provide a good terms of reference, and sometimes it's deficient, and we send it back. This is what we need. You didn't include this, and so include it and come back, and then we'll proceed from there.
Right. Getting a very interesting text on our text line. Someone's asking, what happens when the government breaks the law? What does DEPP do?
This act,
Does that happen?
The Environmental Planning and Protection Act binds the crown.
Mhm.
And so we have a lot of government projects going on across the Family Island. And we would have gotten calls again from community members in the
Oh, wow.
islands about any airport or road project where there's some flooding going on or some other. So we would have to reach out to the Ministry of Works. The government also has the environmental consultant. So we do not regulate ourselves. Essentially, we're not our own eyes and ears.
Right.
We have people there watching what's going on and reporting as well to us. And so we've had an instance where on a specific airport project where there was some non-compliance.
Oh boy.
And the department had to step in with the project and bring everything back together. And then they were allowed to go back to work.
Does the government, do they obey the rules?
Yes.
Was that a long pause?
Yes,
Uh-huh.
government obeys the rules. We are colleagues, and I think our ultimate goal is to ensure that the Bahamas is here for everybody. And so I don't think anybody intentionally goes out and says, well, hey, I'm going to destroy this part of the environment today. A lot of it is ignorance. Sometimes mistakes happen, and so we have to address those when it happens.
So what do you want? What do you need to do if you want to be in this space? Is there a special degree that you need? What would you say to folks who?
As an environmental officer?
Yeah.
Okay, so I have a PhD in environmental science. That is not a requirement. What is a requirement is a minimum of a bachelor's degree in environmental science, biology, chemistry, physics, something like that. We will even economics, because a lot of what we're looking at now is environmental economics and valuation of these species that we are looking to protect.
Okay.
And so you need a minimum of a bachelor's degree for us to be able to consider you for hiring. And you need to be able to think on your feet and be interested in conservation and preservation in the Bahamas. We do a lot of on-the-job training. Officers get to travel a lot to do training exercises, attend conferences. And so once you come in with that basic knowledge and that basic interest, we can help you.
Yeah.
And these are full-time positions, or you typically want people on short-term contracts?
No,
How's
we
that?
have everyone in the department is hired on either a 3-year contract, or they are on to being permanent and pensionable with the Bahamas government.
Yeah.
So these are all permanent jobs.
Yeah.
And if you are a member of the public and you want to help, what can you do?
What can they do?
Well, in keeping with this year's Earth Day for Power Our Planet, we encourage persons to take any small step that they can in helping to preserve and conserve our ecosystems and our natural resources. Some of these could be really small steps like conserving on energy, unplugging appliances when they're not in use, turning off the light when they're not in use. Also reducing water usage. We also are still advocating for less plastics within the Bahamas. We still have our ongoing plastic ban, which was implemented back in 2020. So we encourage persons to use alternative and sustainable methods so that we can work together to continue to sustain our resources and our ecosystems for future and the enjoyment of future generations.
I'm seeing more plastic bags recently. What's going on there?
So, as you are very well aware, Mr. Dwight Strachan, that the plastic ban was implemented in 2020. We have our stakeholder support at the border. But Bahamas are very crafty.
Very.
Very, and we love thrills. Wherever we're able to, do something and not get caught, but this, sort of on the edge. These are the kind of things that we love to do. So I encourage Bahamians not to go and try to break the law. plastic bags are still banned, and we are working with our customs colleagues to be able to continue to be able to identify these banned items at the border. But I encourage Bahamians, please do not actively try to break the law. Do not see if you can bring something in and customs misses it at the border. Don't do that. Because the ban was implemented for a reason. One, plastics are associated with a myriad of health issues. So a lot of these health problems that women and some men are experiencing are because we are ingesting plastics all the time. Plastics are in our food. For much of us, plastics are in our bodies now. We have eaten it and it's become a part of our bodily composition. So the plastic ban was not just implemented to inconvenience us. This is here to help us and to try to keep us healthy, as well as we know we're living on an island and our population is growing. Our landfill size, however, it has a finite size. It has a finite amount of waste that it can take. And so we're also trying to preserve the lifespan of the landfill in New Providence and those areas in the Family Islands as well. So please cooperate with us, and we would appreciate your assistance.
Dr. Rihanna Neely Murphy said it. Plastics getting into the food, they're getting into the sea. The fish are eating it. We have a lot of issues when it comes to seafood in the country. Let's talk about that with the Nature Conservancy. Again, we've got Natalie Miolas and Megan Fountain with us. Tell us about your role and the challenges that you're facing.
Okay,
Megan?
so first, I'd just like to say that, here at the Nature Conservancy, I am a conservation practitioner. I'm in the fisheries and MPA space, which are two of our pillars that we work in. So the Nature Conservancy has been working in the Bahamas for over 25 years now. We are a global conservation organization. And the main pillars that we do work in the Bahamas are marine managed areas, which is MPAs or marine protected areas, sustainable fisheries, healthy reef ecosystems, and also climate adaptation, which speaks to our work in mangroves. So I'm recent. I'm a recent hire. But yeah, I mainly work in fisheries and MPAs.
Yeah. And Natalie?
Conservancy works with DEPP, other government agencies, and, for example, Bahamar private entities. We work with entities in the country since we are an international nonprofit organization. We like to work with entities and stakeholders, especially local communities on the ground, to help ensure healthy oceans. And what that can look like can be helping support policy creation, helping elevate the voices of those in local communities to let their voices be a part of the decision-making process. And most of our conversations with government are, where can we support? How can we help support? An example of the collaboration that we've had between each of these entities is through the facilitation of Bahamar, which was wonderful. Their beautiful amenities and space to us so we could actually bring together voices from the government, voices from the fishing sector to come together and discuss deep sea fishing in the Bahamas. And so it's just one example of collaboration, bringing those together to our healthy oceans, and have those conversations.
So what do you see as the biggest issue right now, the biggest challenge in this sector?
In the fisheries sector? Well, there's multiple. The largest is overfishing. So we're taking too much fish out of our waters. And a lot of that is, I equate it to a bank account, right? If you don't know how much money is in your bank account, if you don't know how much money you're spending, how much money is leaving your bank account, or how much money is coming in, how do you manage your money? And it's the same for fisheries, right? If we don't know how many fish are in the water, and if we don't know how many are coming out, how many are we taking out? How many are growing? How many are we putting back in? How do you manage that? And so we have a problem in this country and globally with, we just don't know the data, right? We don't know how we're trying to fill those data gaps. But also we have overfishing, and a lot of that has to do, we do have the problem domestically, right? Bahamians, for example, fishing out of season, not following laws.
Yep.
You should not be eating grouper out of season, everybody, right? Nassau grouper. And also, but we also have foreign illegal fishing happening within our waters that's threatening our sustainability as well.
Yeah. So how will you fill the data gaps? Is there a fish census, or what are we going to do?
Yeah, interviewing each of
Right.
Yeah. No, we are working with the Department of Marine Resources right now to say, how can we collect better information directly from fishers and enable fishers to actually provide that information directly to DMR, securely, privately, so they can ensure and have that representation. Because a big problem that fishermen have in the country is lack of representation. For example, we don't know how many fishermen there actually are. So actually enabling fishers to be able to self-report and say, hey, I'm a fisherman, I represent this island, this is what I'm contributing to my economy, and enabling fishers to self-report so DMR can help use that data to properly manage fisheries is an example of that.
Wow. And so how else can we help the public, help Nature Conservancy, and help with what you're trying to do?
Follow the fisheries regulations. You know, when you go to a restaurant and you ask, what fish is this? And every Bahamian knows, you know, it's like, was this caught fresh? Follow the fishing regulations. You know, when it's closed season, make sure that you're eating seafood that is within the correct time, right? So spiny lobster, for example, grouper, Nassau grouper. So we have a stone crab season as well. So just make sure you're following those seasons. They're important because seasons are to protect species when they are breeding.
All right.
So we are just giving them a little rest, letting them breed, letting them make more babies so that we have more fish for the other season. So if we eat them during that time, then we're not allowing them and giving them that opportunity to make more, which we want.
And do you find fishermen cooperating? Are they obeying these rules as well, or is there a challenge still?
I think, you know, at the end of the day, fishermen, they want seafood around because that is their livelihood, right? They don't want it to go away. And so I think many fishermen feel pressures to fish out of season or undersize when there's financial pressure as well. And so I think answering the solution for sustainable fisheries also needs us we need to answer the economic solution for our communities as well and make sure that people have other livelihoods.
Yeah.
I don't think fishermen want to break the rules. I don't think that they want to see an end to fisheries, but I think that we also have economic pressures that drive some of that. And like I said, we have foreign fishing, we have foreign entities that are coming in here and breaking the laws, and we need to address that as well. And another project that we have, we're working with the Department of Marine Resources, the Royal Bahamas Defense Force, which we have to commend. And we are implementing the Marine Action Partnership also with BAWEN, the Bahamas Wildlife Enforcement Network, which was spoken to. And we are trying to work together to improve marine enforcement in the country and specifically looking at how do we combat foreign illegal fishing in the country.
Wow. How can we find out more about the Nature Conservancy in the Bahamas? Where, how, and how can we volunteer? Is that possible?
So yes, it's very possible to volunteer at the Nature Conservancy. You can visit our website, which is nature.org. And you can also call the office. I kind of forgot the number.
4117. And we are really proud, even though we're an international organization, we are all Bahamians that work for the Nature Conservancy locally, as well as regionally. So we're really proud.
Yeah. Excellent. Excellent stuff that everyone's doing. Hey, whatever we can do to help. All right, so I got to ask you this, Dr. Rhiannon Neely Murphy. This is not related to what we're talking about, but I've been, since the last time you were on the show, I've been meaning to ask you about this. This solar, is it a farm at the stadium? Are we using that? How does that work? Did it ever live up to its potential? What's the deal?
We are not only using that. That is being fed into the grid, BPL's grid.
Okay.
Today, we are installing quite a few more microgrids across the country. We have installed quite a bit of solar on some public schools.
Yeah,
TV
seen that.
TG Global, Anatole Rogers, I think Doris Johnson. We have a lot of solar that has gone up, that is working, that is feeding into the grid, and then we are installing microgrids across the Family Islands as well.
Okay.
So these microgrids would feed like the medical clinics on the Family Islands, the government complexes, if the grid goes down, especially during a storm. So these buildings will still be able to be functional during those times. So we've done a lot with solar.
Excellent.
Since the last time I was here, and we got a lot more coming.
Okay, wonderful stuff. Bradley Watson with Bahamar, I guess you can have the final words in our final minute here on this very special edition of the show today.
I'm just really grateful for all of the partners that came today. The only way we can make a change is doing it together. So thank you, everybody, and come out to Bahamar and see what we're doing for yourselves.
Yeah. And we salute you and Bahama with what you're doing. This is very impressive what's happening here today. This is a great way to spend Earth Day.
Quite right.
Thank you very much. Thank you
I
very
wish
much.
we had Earth Day every Wednesday.
So again, from the Department of Environmental Planning and Protection, Dr. Rhiannon Neely Murphy and Kamisha Wilbur, thank you. Thank you again. And from the Nature Conservancy, Natalie Miolis and Megan Fountain, thank you. Thank you. Appreciate it. Again, everybody at Bahamar, thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Chester Robarts, thank you very much.
Always a pleasure.
I'll be back tomorrow morning with more Morning Blend business. I won't be at Bahamar. I'll be at Guardian Radio Studios.
Unfortunately.
But again, happy Earth Day to everybody out there. Do something great outside for the environment and enjoy. We'll see you tomorrow. Have a great one, everybody.
He made the Bahamas. If the good Lord never used to come this way, tell me why he made these islands.
All the sun, all the peace, all the skies, all the breeze, all the creeks, all the hills, all the sand, all the trees.
So tell me why. Tell me why he made these islands.
This is Guardian Radio,